And when the world shall listen, and when the world shall see, and when the world remembers, that world will cease to be.
Apocalypse is the cyclical cataclysm that changes all life on Earth. The plasma apocalypse has been known by every culture. It's been recorded in every religion. It's been described from various perspectives and has gone by many names. Armageddon, the end of days, the rapture, the end times, Judgment Day, the apocalypse. The event has always been seen as being both a destructive and life-giving process. When it brings death to one thing, it gives birth to another. It's a marker for both the end and the beginning of recorded time. Many of our ancient ancestors knew about the cyclical world reset. They would prepare and plan for their survival and the preservation of their families, retreating to deep underground caverns when they saw the signs and omens of destruction. Because the exact date of the event was never known, they made annual preparations which would become traditions that would be carried out by their descendants, who would eventually forget about the cataclysm to come. We are those descendants. This generation has no memory of the creation event, the reoccurring genesis of our world. It survives mostly in the collective subconscious of humanity, secretly escaping through creative mediums like books, movies, and music. Those who remember do so in part, as if trying to recall a powerful dream that slips away from the conscious mind. Those who try and return to the old ways are avoided, mocked, and humiliated, labeled doomsday preppers and preachers of doom and gloom, heretics to the divine and all-powerful church of humanity. But the ancients knew a secret. Those who survive the reset will inherit the new world as masters of themselves and their environments, true and complete freedom bequeathed unto them from a dying age. As I said in the beginning, it has been described from various perspectives. The following is an abbreviated account of the events of the plasma apocalypse as given by my own. The electromagnetic polarity of our world will begin to fluctuate before completely reversing, causing the first signs of what's to come. The sky itself will begin to moan like a woman about to give birth. The sun will disappear for a time, and the world will become very dark. During the neutral point of the polarity shift, the world will experience zero gravity. Everything that isn't attached to the Earth or in it will float. The invisible electromagnetic force field around our world will dissipate, and the physical barrier that keeps the Earth pressurized will break as a massive hole appears in the sky above the North Pole, revealing the plasma vortex that leads to other realms. Bloodlines who have kept the secret of the black hole in the sky and who have prepared over many lifetimes for this moment will enter their rockets and blast off, shooting themselves into the swirling vortex to finally make their escape from this world. Ignorant spectators will only assume their governments are fighting off a strange alien invasion. The hole in the sky will cause the world to depressurize, expanding the atmosphere into instant fog and mist, causing a temporary shortage of oxygen and rupturing eardrums and creating a spiraling wind that will grow into a world storm. The downdraft of that world storm will pull supercooled air from the upper atmosphere down around the Arctic Circle, instantly freezing all it touches into frozen statues of ice. Everything that was floating will be sucked up into the storm towards the opening above the North Pole. Bodies of water that are not sucked out through the opening in the sky will freeze into massive chunks of hail as large as boulders, waiting to fall back to the ground. And water that isn't frozen will be polluted by the dust and debris of the storm, giving it a blood-like color, waiting to rain back down onto this world. The Earth will grow in size, causing worldwide earthquakes that will turn much of the soil into mud through liquefaction. With the electromagnetic force field temporarily down, the plasma that spirals around our world will enter into our atmosphere, looking for attractive places to ground itself. The more powerful plasma streams will carve out canyons and tug at the salty, mud-covered ground, creating mountains in short time. Many centers of civilization will sink into the mud, while others will be petrified instantly. Otherworldly creatures and beings that I call phantazoids will enter into our world. The influx of plasma will possess some of the living, reanimate the dead, and bring life to electronics, all of which will submit to its objective: to seek out and remove those with the old frequency signature until the plasma is cut off from its source. Smaller strands of plasma will dock with the heads of the plasma possessed and reboot the brains of many survivors, wiping their memory of the past. The plasma streams in various forms will set fire to much of the world. Electromagnetic polarity will reverse, and a bluish-white beam of plasma will shoot up from the center of the Earth, up through the North Pole, into the opening in the sky for all to see, also known as Project Bluebeam. The direction of light will reverse, flowing upward, revealing the true nature of our cosmic surroundings. Light will not come from a focal point called the sun, but from the sky itself, and will be various shades of purple, red, orange, and green, depending on one's proximity to the North Pole. The electromagnetic force field will surround our world once again, repelling the rivers of plasma and cutting them off from their source. Our world will be inundated with plasma. A weak electromagnetic force will emerge, allowing leftover floating debris to fall back down to the ground. Meanwhile, objects that crossed the upper atmosphere force boundary will fall upward to their barrier above. Steampunk survivors will sift through the piles of junk that fall to the ground, scavengers of old world artifacts, looking for clues to their past and trying to reverse engineer or repurpose leftover technology. The world will be energized with life by the sudden influx of plasma, which will alchemically create an abundance of oxygen and other elements that will promote extended lifespans. The strong electromagnetic connection between all life forms will promote peace and enable psychic abilities amongst the survivors. Plants, animals, and people, and electronics will be able to communicate with one another. Because of this, the muscles of many survivors will seem strengthened as the weakened electromagnetic force, once called gravity, lessens the weight of everything. These conditions and less pressure on the surface will allow for gigantic growth of all life born into the new world. When those conditions begin to change, life will shrink in size over time once more. Survivors emerging from the earth will carve images of the apocalypse into the rock as a reminder to future generations who will eventually forget all about these events. Small groups will retain the knowledge. One group will guard the secrets of the eye in the sky, passing it along down their generations to empower their lineage. The other group will share their memories but will not be believed. Because they will be infiltrated by the other group, they will develop tests for outsiders to pass, to prove their intentions selfless, wise, and loving. One group will hide in plain sight, slowly manipulating the amnesia-induced world. The other will go unnoticed, becoming reclusive and waiting for the seekers of truth to find them. Pockets of lower frequency survivors will turn to cannibalism before the world's plant life begins to regrow. Phantazoids will fight for their survival, or hide from the natives of their strange new world, only to become mythic and legendary creatures, the fantastic beasts and monsters of old. Like that. And we'll bring out the intro again.
And when the world shall listen.
And when the world shall listen.
And when the world shall see.
And when the world shall see.
When the world remembers.
Man, I muted it.
That world will cease to be.
All right. Thank you. Okay. I'm pretty sure you can hear me now, right? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. Anyway, screwed that up, right? Dang it. Dang it. I've been preparing so long. Okay, but we got it now. Okay, so you can hear me now. I'm sure it's going to tack this video onto the next video. I was saying Merry Christmas. Hi, Merry Christmas. I'm JayDreamerZ. This is our Plasma Apocalypse Christmas special. It's very special, actually, because of the importance of the Plasma Apocalypse. Yes. Hello. I also said I opened up the chat for everyone. I was feeling in the Christmas spirit. I still am. And so I wanted to be giving and forget the gift and just open up the chat. So chat's open to everybody. And I was also saying, too, that, the Christmas spirit is not just for Christmas or December or anything like that. It should be for the whole year. We should walk around with the Christmas spirit all year long. And Christmas itself should just be a boost, a reminder at the end of the year. Anyway, so today we're talking about, and welcome, I see everybody in the chat. We're talking about the Plasma Apocalypse. We're really talking about the origins of Christmas. And I know everyone's got their own ideas of, I think Christmas started off as this, and no, it originated here and there. I'm only going to be sharing my path. That's all I'm doing. I'm sharing my path with you guys. My research, my path, and this is the way that I see it. So let's jump right in there. Let's see. Where should we begin? Where should we even begin? Christmas. Well, most people associate Christmas with Christianity. It's got the word Christ right there in it, right? So you would think that it's just a Christian holiday and that, it wouldn't be a big deal to the other parts of the world that are not Christians, right? However, it is so much more than just a Christian holiday. We're actually talking about the solstice, okay? Christmas is just one of many celebrations across our plane of existence, across our realm, that celebrates the winter solstice in a particular way, in a particular specific fashion, right? With very, very interesting stories, origin stories that all have similar things in common. And if we use comparative mythology, we can easily apply that to comparative religious mythology and figure out what those origins are. So myself, I started off in Christianity and I really liked Christmas. And then I got deep into my studies and I became more zealous and I was like, oh my God, Christmas is a pagan holiday. I'm not celebrating it. And man, what a horrible few years that was. I actually didn't celebrate Christmas for 2 or 3 years. Can you believe that? And there's people out there just like I was. And they're like, nope, I'm not doing it. It's pagan, this and that. And man, then thankfully I returned to the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter, of course, is the Christmas spirit. Love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and gentleness and understanding and, a billion other positive attributes. Anyway, so we're talking about the Plasma Apocalypse, okay? So if we go back a little further, further from Christianity and today's, well, actually, it's not really Christian anymore. It's more like a Hallmark celebration or whatnot, but it's still there. It's still a celebration. It's not going to go away. It's not going to disappear anytime soon. But if you go back a little further than that, then we see that it has its origins in quote unquote paganism or other religious belief systems, right? So we're going to check out, we're going to start with, and I've got some pictures and stuff up here I'm going to be sharing with everybody. Really, this right here is key. You see that whitish baby blue light right there? That's the key to this entire stream right now. Mr. Dynamics in the chat and says, at JayDreamerZ, the tree is a reminder of the black hole sun event from 300 years ago. Okay. All right. Wow. 300. Okay. Well, if it's happened many, many times, not just 300 years ago, right? It'd be like many, many times over. But I think you're onto something. We're going to talk about that. Thank you, Mr. Dynamic. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the word Christmas itself. Etymology, the origins of words, right? The etymology for Christmas is broken down into two words, Christ or Christos and mass. Like mass just means to coagulate, to get together, right? Which is an interesting word in itself, right? Now remember, we're talking about all of this under the Plasma Apocalypse perspective, okay? Excuse me. So the etymology of Christmas, we've got Christ, which means the anointed. synonymous with translating to the Greek Hebrew Mashiach. See the word Messiah. I'm actually just reading this right now. It's a title given to Jesus of Nazareth. So hold on. Let's take a quick time out right now, right? The anointed. That's not actually what it literally means, okay? I got this from like Wikipedia or something. But Wikipedia is not always on the money, are they? So what Christ means, it does mean anointed, but specifically it means anointed with like crocodile oil, basically. It goes back to ancient Egypt. And what the word conveyed was somebody who shines because they've been anointed with oil. They're a shining one, okay? So that's literally what the word Christ really means, if you go back far enough, is to shine, right? Somebody who has a brilliance to them, or a shine, or a shimmer. Think about that whenever you're watching Stephen King's movies as well, okay? Because it's very much interrelated. So we've got Christ, basically means to shine, right? A title given to Jesus of Nazareth, Old English Christ, and from Latin Christus, from Greek Christos, meaning the anointed. It's a noun used of verbal adjective of krein, which means to rub or anoint. Rub oil on a person. That's what that comes from, not just to rub anything. Let's see here. And then that also made me think of the word christen, right? Like when you christen a boat, you know what I mean? What happens when they christen a boat? Or they make Christ like the boat, okay? They break glass over the boat. Interesting word, right? So maybe we can connect those two later on in the video. Remember, hey, if you do want to say anything to me, get my attention in the chat. I got the chat pulled up right now. Just type in @JayDreamerZ. And I'll be happy to read your comment as long as there's time. Okay, so let's go to the late 14th. Let's go to, the word mass. So we figured out what Christ means. Let's check out mass. An irregular shaped lump, a body of unshaped, coherent matter. From Old French masse, lump or heap or pile, crowd, large amount, ingot, bar, etc. And directly from Latin massa, meaning kneaded dough or lump, that which adheres together like dough, which is probably where the root for matzah comes from, I'm guessing. Probably from Greek maza, which means barley, cake, lump, mass, ball, which is related to massein, which means to knead. Like to knead bread, right? Or dough. From the root mag, which means to knead, to fashion, or to fit. So what I get out of the word mass there, out of all of that, is this irregularly shaped body of matter, right? Just like plasma is. Do you see what I'm saying there? So Christ, which is Christ, also means to anoint, which means to make shining. So you have shining, and then mass, which is irregularly shaped matter, which is plasma, shining plasma. That's really what it kind of translates into, etymologically speaking. London's in the chat and says, I got my Christ mass wish. JayDreamerZ showed up in my home. Well, hey, that's very kind. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. FX33 says, you think anything happening after today's eclipse? No, probably not. I mean, weird things typically follow eclipses, but nothing on my intuition or anything like that. But I have been kind of focused on this video today. All right, so let's get into some of these origins of Christmas, or the Christ Mass, or the irregularly shaped, the basically shining plasma, right? Scandinavia. In Scandinavia, in recognition, let me put the slideshow on. That way I don't have to stare at the same picture here. Let's do 10 seconds each. Why not? Okay, we're going to Scandinavia right now. In Scandinavia, in recognition of the return of the sun. Hold on, let me put this over here. All right. In recognition of the return of the sun. Let's take a time out. Wait a minute. Let me explain that, okay? So a lot of, not just in Scandinavia, but all over the world, people had a very real fear that when the sun, over the course of the year, the sun gets lower and lower in the sky. That's what gives us our seasons, right? So when it got to its lowest point, which is the winter solstice, which means to sun stop, basically, what we're taught that people were like terrified that the sun was not going to come back. And we're basically taught, which is true, but we're basically taught that with like the sort of assumption that people were just stupid back then and they had this sort of caveman mentality and, you know, everything was magic. And I mean, it was magic, this is the crazy thing about what I'm saying. But basically they were unintelligent. That's what we teach. That's basically what we teach. We thought that the sun, because we teach an alternative cosmology today. So when we talk about our ancestors in the past, we usually refer to them with like very little respect. Like, well, they didn't have the brains we have today. Okay, anyway. So let's continue on here. Oh, wait. GGAZ 2012 is in the chat and says, at JayDreamerZ, perhaps taking a tree and illuminating it with candles or lights and things that glimmer could represent a remembrance of the illuminated tree of knowledge of good and evil, where all glowed. You might be onto something too. We're going to get to that here a little down the road. All right, so let me get back to where's the pictures? I mean, what was it reading here? Oh, Scandinavia. Okay, so in recognition of the return of the sun, fathers and sons would bring home large logs, which they would set on fire. The people would feast until a log burned out, which could take as many as 12 days. This is actually really key. This is super important. Okay, so this is called the Yule log, basically. Some groups claimed the ashes would protect the bearer from lightning, an important quality at the time when houses and most of the contents in them were made of wood. I don't know. I disagree with that last part. Yes, that's important. However, but the Yule log, or the ashes from the Yule log, was said to basically protect somebody from lightning. How would that work, do you think? Isn't that interesting? There's this connotation between lighting this log on fire at the end of the year during the solstice and being protected from plasma in one of its forms, which is lightning, right? Let's keep that in mind because we'll come back to it. Let's go to Germany now. Hey, what's up to everybody in Germany? Okay, we're in Germany. In Germany, people honored the pagan god Odin during the midwinter holiday. Germans were terrified of Odin as they believed he made nocturnal flights through the sky to observe his people, and then decided who would prosper or who would perish. Because of his presence, many people chose to stay inside. Two things I want to point out right there, and I'm not looking at the chat right now, I'm just kind of going on my own for a minute. Let's talk about Odin. Odin is always the one-eyed monster, okay? He's the one-eyed god. He is the all-seeing eye. He's the eye in the sky. He's that hole that you kind of see right there in the painting, if you could see up higher. He's the hole in the sky that opens up, and that's why he always has a patch. That's why you always have your one-eye symbolism in the movies. That's the hole above the North Pole that opens up in the sky and allows the plasma in. So let me point something out here. In Germany, let's see here. He flew around in the sky and decided who would prosper and who would perish. This is also really interesting. Hey, Nibiru Followers Anonymous is now a member. Welcome, Nibiru Followers. Let's all give some Christmas spirit in the chat to Nibiru Followers. So Odin's up there and he decides basically who prospers and who perishes, who lives and who dies, right? Same story is seen in the legend of the Valkyries, right? In Norse mythology, we've got the Valkyries. They were also up there flying around deciding during this great battle, right? It's always a great battle. Remember this, those of you who want to see the signs of, how close we are. There's always a great battle, a huge battle. Right before the end comes, right before the plasma apocalypse. And that's due to the electromagnetic energy ramping up. Basically, every single person's vibration out there is going to become more and more charged. So whatever your vibe is, if it's a good one, it's going to become better. It's going to be strengthened. If it's a bad one, people are going to become really bad, basically. And anybody in between is going to feel like you're getting tugged back and forth real hard. Probably have a lot of mood swings and bipolar type stuff. But that's a separate thing. All right, let's get back to Germany, and then I'll jump in the chat for just a second too. All right, so Odin made these flights, choosing who would prosper and who would perish. Because of his presence, many people chose to stay inside. I mean, this is Odin the god, right? Like staying inside your house is going to stop him or something, right? Unless Odin is symbolic of the plasma, right? If your plasma can't go through a solid object, like your walls, okay? If it's a big enough plasma discharge, yeah, it could blow your house right off the map and petrify it, basically. But the smaller ones, the smaller strands, because our world's going to have all kinds of plasma inside of it. It's not just going to have the huge trunks that come down and fry cities. It's going to have lots of smaller strands. You'll have St. Elmo's fire. You'll have ball lightning. That's the attack of the killer tomatoes, by the way, for those of you who are wondering. We're all little... Oh, it's also probably the Langoliers as well, now that I think of it. And that's a shout out to my brother who reminded me of that. Let's see here. Anyway, so the reason, people go inside their houses, those whose houses made it, okay? If you're like in a trailer out there, it's not attached to the ground, good possibility the wind's just going to blow it right up into the sky. But yeah, a lot of people's houses will make it, okay? At least through portions of it, okay? There's a lot of other portions that could easily take out your houses. But a lot of houses are going to make it. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, I had the speakers turned on, so there was an echo. So they go into their houses and just shut the door, right? And a long time ago, I don't know if they had glass windows, okay? But I assume they did not have glass windows because they could just shut the solid part of their windows or whatever and keep the plasma from entering in, basically. Because plasma can't go through a physical object because it is a physical object. The light of it can go through, but the plasma cannot. Anyway, this is also why the Hebrews... in the Bible, why they had their 3 days of darkness and they were all ordered to go inside. Shut your door behind you, right? And they had special candles that they lit as well. That's why they had light in their houses and nobody else had light. I might as well touch on that real quick, okay? We're going to take another look at it because we're going to take a little inside look at my website, which is JayDreamerZ.com, by the way. And I'm going to show you some interesting stuff there too. But the Hebrews, like I said, they were ordered to go inside, shut their doors, shut their shutters or their windows or whatever, and wait as this 3-day darkness period, like it was like the angel of the Lord, but it was basically darkness that was over the face of the land, right? It was basically the plasma apocalypse that was happening. Now, nobody else had light in Egypt except for the Hebrews who were inside their houses. Why is that? Did anyone else have access to candles and stuff? Yes, they did. But the Hebrews had special traditions that they had kept at the time. Probably a lot of other cultures as well, okay? But I'm just talking from somebody who's more of a biblical scholar. They had special candles, and they're a lot like the candles that the Catholics use today made of beeswax. And those candles were designed to burn for a very long time, including and up to 3 days long. But everywhere else, now you have to imagine this too. And we're going to talk about candles here in a minute. I might just pull up my website just so you guys can see. But the candle lighting is really important and it's huge because it's not going to be easy for fire to burn. First of all the lights are going off. Okay, the sun's turning off. Electricity is going to probably go away for a while. I'm guessing there's going to be like a worldwide EMP when this happens, basically. But I'm not sure, honestly, not yet. But I'm pretty sure that all the electricity is going to go out. No man-made lights, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. Just for those of you who want to prep for it, I think it's a great idea to get those little lights that you break that are in the plastic, those little glow-in-the-dark shaky lights. You know what I mean? What are those called? I forgot what those called. I've got a whole drawer full of them. And I think those are going to be great. Why? Because when the lights go out, and the world depressurizes, all the air, all of our atmosphere, it's going to expand. And when you have rapid expansion of air, when depressurization happens, you have instant fog, instant mist everywhere. That's why all these scary movies like to incorporate fog and mist, because it taps into this primal fear that we have, this primeval fear from ages ago that we forgot all about. Oh, that's right. They're called glow sticks. Thank you. That was Skarbowski and GGA helped me out there, and Lisa Post. You guys were the first three. All right, so let's see here. Where was I? You know what? We're talking about the candles thing. Let's go ahead and check out my website real quick, and I'll show you some stuff here about the candles. I got a lot of stuff I want to share about that. Let me first see if I can pull up the screen sharing. Let's go to the website. If you want to follow along, it's JayDreamerZ.com. All right, so when you go to JayDreamerZ.com, you're just going to go to the top. Here, let me do screen sharing here. There you go. All right, so at JayDreamerZ, we're going to go up to Plasma Apocalypse right here. Then we're going to go to Lights Out. Click on that one right there. I don't remember if this one's for members or if this one's open to the public, honestly. So you may have to be a member to actually go there, because some of them are like members, some are for the public. I would totally make it all public, but I'm poor, so sorry. Maybe when I'm rich, I'll just make it all public. I totally will. All right, so lights out. Here we are. Let me pull up the chat too. Let me know if we have any issues, because this webpage is a huge stress on my computer because it's got a lot of stuff on it. Yeah, just if there's any problems in the chat, just let me know. Okay, so lights out. This is, let me make this a little bigger for everybody here. All right, we're just going to make the webpage a bit larger. You know what? Might as well just make it the whole. There we go. Whoa, wait a minute. Well, where'd I go? No, I can't do that. Here. We'll just do it like this. Boom. There we go. That was so much easier. All right, transform. And I'm just going to stretch this to the screen there. Okay, so this is my website, JayDreamerZ.com. It's under the Plasma Apocalypse section under Lights Out, basically. There's some music up here if you want to click. I put theme music on like all the Plasma Apocalypse pages, like songs that I feel like are, fitting for that particular subject. Something fun I like to do. All right, so I'm not in the chat right now. Oh, actually, I did just see the chat. Josh Meredith is in the chat and says, Merry Christmas. We all watch your videos. We'd be happy to meet one day. I was telling people these things before I ever saw it on YouTube. I was always called crazy. Glad there are others. Hey, high five. I'm super glad. It's good to meet you. It's good to meet all of you. I love you guys. All right. And hey, Merry Christmas to you and your family, Josh. All right. So let's go down here. I'm just going to read some of this stuff. No. I'm going to skip that because we already kind of went over that. All right, so let's look at these candle celebrations, okay? First, we've got Christmas, the birth of the sun. Basically, the sun up in our sky, it gets to its lowest point, and then it stays there in its lowest point in the sky for 3 days, okay? So religiously, that is the Son of God, right, Jesus, or many of the other sons of gods in the other religions, right, is buried for 3 days. The problem with that is that the sun is actually just not buried anywhere. It's still right there on the horizon, right? Every single time we see this, a lot of people are like, no, that's talking about the sun, and it gets to its lowest point and then it just stays there for 3 days. Yeah, problem is that's not buried. Buried means gone. Buried means the sun is not around, okay? Like it's gone. The sun dipped out. Okay, that's what that comes from. This is where this celebration comes from. Not just every single year when the plasma apocalypse doesn't come. It's just the sun got really low, and so the ancients celebrated that it was at its lowest point because they were scared it would dip. No, like it did eventually dip so low it disappeared. It went away. And that's because plasma around our world is in flux, and it gets really powerful towards the end cycle, or towards the reset, and it gets really big, in which case it cannot create a point of focus called the sun anymore. Excuse me, Mike. I'm trying to do a little presentation. Not Mike, Cam. I always get these two confused. This is Mike, Cam's over there. Anyway, it's my camera. All right, so Hanukkah. Okay. Oh, of course, we celebrate Christmas. Many people do with candles and whatnot. Hanukkah is a festival of lights. There are a lot of festival of lights around this time of year. And it's not just because, it's just the darkest time of year, and so something inside of us just makes us want to light up candles or whatever, That's not the simplicity. Yeah, that is the simplicity of it, okay? But it's deeper than that. It's stronger than that. There's a reason why we're inside. We know we need to light some light because it's in preparation for something. Rose Loves Christ Always says, JayDreamerZ, my hubby and children think I'm nuts. Well, you know what? I don't think you're nuts. I think all of us are very interestingly unique in our own way. Nuts is just whenever people get together against other people, right? I think we should see the division amongst ourselves and respect it, while at the same time balancing that with the unity and the connection we have to everyone. You know what I mean? So shout out to Rose. So Hanukkah, Festival of Lights, 8 days at the end of the year, right? They had to keep the candles lit for 8 days. Now, this is another thing you're going to see. It's not just like
oh, one day on Christmas, we're supposed to light candles. A lot of these traditions are, hey, you need to keep the candles lit. Keep the fire going. Don't let that fire go out, okay? Like they had fire watch around this time of year, making sure the fire did not go out. Not because of any spooky, mystical reasons that don't make any sense, because they literally needed the light to see if the lights went out, okay? Kwanzaa, the Kinara, candles, lit daily for 7 days at the end of the year. Lit daily for 7 days. The Yule log, which we talked about, was to be continually burning from the end of one year to the first day of the next year. Why? Because that marks the end of the plasma apocalypse, okay? It's not a very long event. It's like a week long. From beginning to end, maybe 12 days, the 12 days of Christmas. The Scottish Christmas candle. Scottish Christmas candle. In Scotland, it was believed that if the Christmas candle finishes before midnight, it meant a great disaster would happen to the family. All right. So if the candle went out before midnight, it meant to them, there was this sort of, tradition or whatever, that a great disaster was going to happen. Why would the candle going out on Christmas during the solstice mean that some sort of great disaster is going to happen? Because of the wind that blows, the worldwide wind that comes through and, it's going to try to blow out your candles, right? You need to have your candle sort of in a protected area from the wind or whatever. But if that candle blew out, they knew that there was a strong wind, which is your world tempest, which is the plasma apocalypse. Cloven E is in the chat. It says, JayDreamerZ, plasma apocalypse turning people into zombies? Frankenstein? Yes, that's exactly what that is, by the way. You're perfect. And Jason Voorhees and everybody else. All right, so let's see here. The Irish Christmas candle. The Irish Christmas candle. Placed in the window as a sign of safety. Interesting as well, right? It's the safety of the light, okay? The lights go out. An instant fog goes everywhere. It's hard for people to get things lit on fire. You'll see that here in a minute when we read from the Book of Mormon. Let's check out St. Lucia's Day. St. Lucia's Day, this traditional festival of lights in Scandinavia, honors St. Lucia. Lucia means light, right? It's a root of Lucifer, the light bringer. One of the earliest Christian martyrs. It was incorporated with earlier Norse solstice traditions after many Norsemen converted to Christianity around 1000 AD. As a symbol of light, Lucia and her feast day blended naturally with solstice traditions such as lighting fires to scare away evil spirits, right? Lighting the fire to scare away the evil spirits. Okay, well, yes, there are evil spirits in the form of electromagnetic activity, right? In the form of plasma being one of them, right? During the longest, darkest night of the year, on St. Lucia's Day, girls in Scandinavia wear white dresses with red sashes and wreaths of candles on their heads. That's why the color red is so prominent, by the way, okay? Because that's the color that comes down from the sky. That's the color, that's the color the sky turns during this event. Everything turns red. So Christmas, the color for Christmas is red. Also green because of the aurora, okay, which is a huge, beautiful part of the plasma apocalypse. But yeah, it's going to be red and green up in the sky. Many other colors probably as well, but those are the prominent ones. All right, let's see here. Where were we? Oh, Toji. Let's go to Japan. Toji. In Japan, the winter solstice is less a festival than a traditional practice centered on starting the new year with health and good luck. It's particularly sacred time of the year for farmers who welcome the return of a sun that will nurture their crops for long, cold winters. People lit bonfires to encourage the sun's return. Huge bonfires burn on Mount Fuji each year on December 22nd. The solstice, essentially, right? So they light these gigantic fires. Why do they do this? Well, one, you need to have a somewhat strong fire. Oh, hey, I just got a donation from London. London donated. Where's the chat? I need to read that. London says, to a great guy. Seriously, dude. I appreciate the research that you put into every topic. Your heart is true. And I'm speaking for everyone here, and we love you, man. Merry Christmas, London. Hey, London. Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you very much. All right, let's keep on going. I definitely appreciate it. So we're in Japan, and they light these huge fires, right? You don't want to have a little dinky fire in preparation because, like I said, the wind's going to blow, okay? And then it's going to be hard to keep it lit if it's like a small match or something because you're going to have all the fog and mist that's in the air, right? We've seen this one before. I'm not going to play that video. You can just check it out yourself. Zuni, Hopi, Iranian, and many more all practice traditions of lighting fires in preparation for the sun to disappear with the hope that it does not. So you're telling me all the people around the world in ancient times started all of these traditions for us, and they were just stupid, and they thought that the sun was going to disappear, but that's not possible, and it never will, right? That it was going to go away, and there would be this period of darkness. So they lit all these candles, and they instituted all these traditions for us to follow for our safety because they care about their future generations. And we still do it. We still follow all of those stupid ancestors of ours. Yes, we do, because we know there's a need to do this, okay? It's about safety, okay? All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, do you see this little picture behind me too? Check out this little picture. So they got the little candle. Where is it? It's got the little candle right here burning, which is pretty cool, right? And then in the background, as you can see, there is that star. We're going to talk about the star here in a bit too. Not quite yet. I want to finish out the candle segment. All right. All right. So the sun goes black. Oh, well, we're not really talking about that right now. So yeah, the sun does go black. Ooh, I do want to read this part. So this is a prophecy, a Catholic prophecy, from Blessed Anna Maria Taiji, who lived from 1769 to 1837. A lot of people are actually petitioning for this woman to become sanctified, to become a saint. She said, "There shall come over the whole earth an intense darkness lasting 3 days and 3 nights. Nothing can be seen. The air will be laden with pestilence, which will claim many." It says mainly. I should change that. But not only the enemies of religion. Imagine that. It will be impossible to use any man-made lighting during this darkness, except the blessed candles. Now, those are the beeswax candles, okay? They're particularly good candles for lasting a very, very long time. She goes on to say, "He who out of curiosity opens his window to look out or leaves his home will fall dead on the spot. During these 3 days, people should remain in their homes." There it is again, right? "Pray the rosary and beg God for mercy." All of the enemies of the church, whether known or unknown. Now let me do a quick timeout, okay? She's right, okay? In a certain way, she's kind of right. You don't want to just be in your house. You want to be in your house meditating, praying, hugging your family, like doing something to raise your vibration at that particular moment to the highest it's ever been, okay? You don't want to be in your house terrified and scared and your heart's beating a million miles an hour. Like, no, go in your house, be calm, be collective, okay? And compose yourself. It's all about the energy and what this particular energy is looking for and attracted to. It's attracted to base vibrations, I think. All right, so let's keep on going. Let's see here. So, enemies of the church, whether known or unknown, will perish over the whole earth during that universal darkness, with the exception of a few whom God will soon convert. So that means you should use wisdom, because it's not guaranteed that just because you have good vibes that you'll survive. You need to have good vibes and a good mind, okay? Be wise about, do what you can to prepare and use some common sense as well, right? "The air shall be infected by demons who will appear under all sorts of hideous forms." Bum, bum, bum. Fantazoids. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's totally what she's talking about, and I love it. Not just Fantazoids, but also just the plasma itself is going to take all sorts of shapes and forms and stuff, probably even that of people imitating us. I guarantee that. It's probably going to come down. Okay, it's going to be so much plasma. It's probably going to just... plasma is just a mass, okay? But it's alive. It's spirits, basically. And I bet you when it comes down, you're going to see plasma taking the shape of us, of animals, of whatever it may be, right? If it wants to. I bet it could. I'm not putting it past it. I was also thinking of this TV show I watched recently called Raising Dion, where it's totally about the plasma apocalypse. But when this storm comes, there's also these little sort of plasma ghosts that go ahead of the storm, which is really interesting too. All right, anyway, let's get back here. Oh, in the chat, Rose Loves Christ Always says, at JayDreamerZ, Saint Padre Pio also speaks of the 3 days of darkness. Close all windows, don't look outside. I totally agree. Okay, this is good, solid advice. Okay, for those of you who are like, man, I can't go spend Christmas in a cave. You don't have to. Okay, and sometimes it's a really bad idea to do that. Okay, but you definitely want to do some research. All right, let's go back to my website here. All right, so that was Blessed Anna Maria Taiji. Let's see here. The plague of darkness. Oh, check this out. This is from Exodus, right? Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand towards the sky so that darkness spreads over Egypt. Darkness that can be felt. Darkness that can be felt. Well, that's an interesting way of talking about that, right? That just doesn't mean that it's just super, super dark. No. That's not like a metaphor for like, really trying to make it sound like it's extra dark. No, it's dark and you can feel the darkness, which means you can't see that there is a cloud of mist all around you because the air has expanded because the world is depressurizing. That's why it's darkness that can be felt. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and go to the Book of Mormon here. I've read this before. This is basically describing, all of this is describing the plasma apocalypse, okay? This is the day that Jesus was crucified. And it's definitely describing the plasma apocalypse. Some of the stuff I highlighted, a great and terrible tempest right here. And exceedingly sharp lightnings, such as had never been known in all the land. And oh, okay, I got to read this part because this part always cracks me up. This is about people getting sucked up into the sky in the Book of Mormon, right? So it says, where is it? And there were some cities which remained, but the damage thereof was exceedingly great. And let me make this bigger. That way we can all read it, right? Hold on, one sec. Okay, let me just pull it up here. There we go. Okay, and there were some cities which remained. So some cities remained, some are destroyed, right? If you live in a city that has skyscrapers, not a good idea to be there, okay? It's basically a giant lightning rod. But the damage thereof was exceedingly great. Now check this out. There were many in them who were slain, and there were some who were carried away in the whirlwind. And whither they went, no man knoweth, save they know that they were carried away, okay? That's what it's... What that says in layman's terms is they got sucked up, and I don't know where they went. They were gone in the sky. They got sucked up. That's what that means. All right, let's go back to, this is the Book of Mormon. If you want to know where, it's found in 3rd Nephi 3, chapter 8, verses 5 through 23. All right, so let's see here. And behold, there was darkness upon the face of the land, and it came to pass that there was a thick darkness. That's that same type as the darkness that can be felt. Okay, it's not just saying really dark. It's saying there's a thickness. You can feel it. Okay, that's the mist. There's a thick darkness upon all of the face of the land, insomuch that the inhabitants thereof, who had not fallen, could feel the vapor of darkness. It's literally like vapor. Like everyone could feel the vapor all the way around them. So, and there could be no light. There could be no light because of the darkness. Neither candles, neither torches, neither could there be any fire kindled with their fine and exceedingly dry wood, so that there could not be any light at all. And there was not any light seen, neither fire nor glimmer, neither the sun nor the moon nor the stars, for so great were the mists of darkness which were upon the face of the land. And it came to pass that it did last for the space of 3 days, and there was no light seen, and there was great mourning and howling and weeping among all of the people continually. Yes, great were the groanings of the people because of the darkness and the great destruction which had come upon them. So in here, in Nephi, in the Book of Mormon, they're talking about how they couldn't even kindle fire, right? They couldn't even start fire. That's because the air is so moist all over the place because you're in this huge mist and whatnot, right? So, in preparation for this particular event, traditions had been established. These traditions were lighting candles beforehand that would last for a very long time. Always keep the fire going, always keep the candles lit. Because they didn't want to go out and have to try to kindle a brand new fire in this worldwide tempest whenever there's just mist all over the place, right? Yeah, that's really difficult. All right, so that was the candle. That's my website, by the way. That's JayDreamerZ.com. Feel free to go check that out. And if you want to support my work, become a member. That'd be cool. Oh, also, I might as well just throw this in there. One of the cool things about my website is this right here. It's the Esoterica Library. This, you click on this, and it takes you to a literal 10,000 volume library on everything esoteric. Nikola Tesla, alchemy, American Indians, ancient Egypt, etc., and so on and so forth, all the way. And these actually have subcategories upon subcategories. So there's a lot of stuff in here, a lot of cool images and documents and things of that nature. Okay, so let me get back to some pictures here. Now we're going to shift gears for a moment. Okay, actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 5-minute break. I want everyone to go have a cookie, drink some eggnog, use the bathroom, whatever you got to do. And we will be right back. Oh my God. What a terrible be right back screen. This thing's horrible. We got to change this. Oh, man. All right, let's get back to the live scene here. Merry Christmas! Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone. And Merry Christmas to all of those people out there that are spending Christmas alone. All of you out there who are all by yourself. I want to give you, in particular, a special little Christmas shout out, okay? You're not by yourself, okay? So if you're feeling lonely on Christmas and it's just you and good old JayDreamerZ on YouTube, I just want to let you know you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there that are just by themselves on this particular day. Don't feel bad, okay? It's just one day. Take it one day at a time. Work on making some stuff happen for next Christmas, okay? It's going to be all right. All right, that's my little message out there. Let's get back to my notes here. All right, so what are we talking about? We're talking about the origins, the esoteric origins of Christmas, right? Let's see here. We talked about Scandinavia, Germany. Oh, Saturnalia. Okay, we should probably talk about Saturnalia. What's Christmas without mentioning good old Saturnalia, right? I'm just making a quick adjustment so I can see the chat. If you have anything to say in the chat, to me, just type in @JayDreamerZ and I'll read your comment live on the air here. Saturnalia in Rome, where winters were not as harsh as those in the far north. Saturnalia, a holiday. Hold on, time out. The slideshow's not playing, is it? Well, is it? I don't know. Anyway, now it is. All right. Sorry, back to Saturnalia. In Rome, where the winters were not as harsh as those in the north, Saturnalia, a holiday in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture. That's why it's called Saturnalia. Basically means festival of Saturn, right? The god of agriculture was celebrated beginning in the week leading up to the winter solstice and continuing for a full month. Let's see, where was I? Saturnalia was a hedonistic time. Now, I have an alternative perspective on this, but I'm going to read what it says here, okay? Saturnalia was a hedonistic time when food and drink were plentiful and the normal Roman social order was turned upside down. For a month, slaves would become masters. Peasants were in command of the city. Each year, a beggar or student would be crowned the Lord of Misrule, and eager celebrants played the part of his subjects. The poor would go to the houses of the rich and demand their best food and drink. Doesn't this sound great? I think it sounds great. I love this. We should bring this back. Come on, poor people. Like, there's way more of us. We should all be on board with this, okay? Let's see here. So basically, the poor people would go to the rich people's houses and demand their best food and drink. Didn't even have to say trick or treat, right? Wonder where that comes from, eh? Hey, Benjamin Crossland donated a Christmas gift of $10, man. Thank you. And put a little super chat in the sticker in the chat. That's cool. And says thank you. You're very welcome. All right. So the poor basically go to the rich and life is turned upside down, right? Christmas became the time of year when the upper classes could repay their real or imagined debt to society by entertaining less fortunate citizens. I hope you see where this is kind of going, okay? If not, I'm going to explain it. This is steampunk / the junkyard world, okay? This is two things happening. One, it's symbolic of the poor of the world, the meek, the humble, all of us basically who have had a tough life because we're not the elite of the world that have everything. That's the way life should be. You should have everything. The whole world is at your fingertips. You should have everything. And we all should. There's plenty to go around. But the elite of the world keep it all. We already know that, right? They just give us little tiny crumbs, which I turn into breadcrumbs and refigure out history, which is fine with me. Anyway, so here's what's going on. This is all about energy, okay? And the elite of the world know this, okay? The people who are in the know, the people who are throwing out all the little hand signs and all that stuff, they understand and they know what's going on. They know this is all about energy, okay? It's about your vibe. It's about your good vibe or your bad vibe. It's about being nice or naughty, right? That's the whole theme going on here. So what they did is they threw this huge celebration and repaid their debt, basically allowing all the poor people to start celebrating and being in charge of the cities and whatnot. And it wasn't looked down upon whatsoever. It was not hedonistic in that it was just, I'm sure there were lots of parts of it that did turn hedonistic. I'm sure when you introduced alcohol and all that stuff that it got pretty crazy. I'm absolutely sure of that. But what this is an attempt to change their vibration at the last second, at the end of the year when they knew, right, that the rich have it a little more difficult, right? Because the poor tend to appreciate and be a little happier and whatnot because I don't know. That's my experience. Okay. But basically this is a reflection of what is about to happen. A lot of people who are rich, okay, not everybody, and it doesn't mean you're bad because you're rich. Okay. I'm just saying it's easier to appreciate life when you're poor. Okay. It's really easy to indulge in life when you're rich. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, so this is a reflection of what's about to happen, okay? And I tell my son this all the time, like, hey, when everything gets sucked up into the sky and all those people are gone and we survive, we get to go around and pick up whatever we want. We are in control. We are literally in charge of whatever area we survived in. Like, we are the rulers of the world. We inherited all of it. Okay, so that's what this is representative of. They know that this is going to happen. So one, it's a reflection of what's about to happen, or possibly could happen, which is the poor of the world all of a sudden find themselves with everything they ever needed. They just go scavenging. This is the steampunk era. This is the garbage world, the junkyard world, and everybody's going to go scavenging. That's why you always see like junkyards and stuff, or trash symbolism, stuff like that, in the movies. They always have that. A lot of times it's a garbage truck for some reason. Anyway, so businesses and schools were closed so that everyone could join in the fun, okay? This wasn't just some wild, drunken, pagan orgy and it was just all out of control. This was actually a controlled holiday that lasted for this long, just like, Halloween, like what everyone in the world or everyone in America or wherever Halloween celebrated dresses up and demands candy. Like, it sounds like it would be out of control and real weird, right? But it's really not. It's actually a controlled tradition that they had. And the whole thing was about energy. Okay. It was about letting the poor, like doing good for the poor. Like, hey, you need to do good for the poor. It's a Christmas spirit. It's that spirit that we need to have in order to survive the plasma apocalypse, to raise your odds, basically, in order to bring in what is wanted for the new era, for the new age, for the new world. And what's wanted is people with good vibes, okay? What's wanted is people who are going to make the world a better place. Those tend to be the survivors. All right, so that's Saturnalia. Oh, speaking of Saturnalia, let me show you some pictures here. So remember I said it's the god Saturn, okay? Kronos is also another name for Saturn. Let's see, where am I here? There we go. All right, so Kronos is the horned one, okay? Kronos is the horned god. It looks just like Satan or any demon with horns or whatever. I'll jump in the chat in just a second. I saw somebody said something to me there. Thanks again, Benjamin. So the horned one, right? Well, this is what I think the horned one looks like. Basically, it's the spiraling plasma up in the sky. And a lot of times, the horns are depicted as one being a horn down and one being a horn that goes up. This is the horned one up in the sky. This is Odin's eye. This is the all-seeing eye, the wheel in the sky that keeps on turning and spinning around. That's because it's plasma that's spinning around because everything's, moves in sort of a vortex fashion, and the plasma spinning around and coming down into our world. We look up and we see something just like that, which, by the way, this is actually from, I think, Norway. I want to say Denmark or Norway. But these are real spirals in the sky, plasma spirals that have already happened, right? The one we will see is going to be way bigger. Okay, way bigger. But yeah, I believe this is what it's in reference to, is when it's spinning up there, this is just water, but I mean, you can imagine that it's plasma, same thing. We've got the horned one. We've got Kronos, which is the ancient titan of old, right? Odin up above. The horn going down, the horn going up, and that is Saturn, basically, right? Let's see what this says. During the Renaissance, the identification of Cronus and Kronos gave rise to Father Time. Why is it Father Time? This marks the beginning and end of time and our record keeping of time. Okay? This will be the end of time as we know it and the beginning of a new age. That's why he's Father Time. And also, this is just how we keep track of like the great grand clock of our realm. Okay? From one reset to the next reset. That's 12 to 12, basically. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I was going to read somebody's message in the chat here. Oh, Semyaza says, thanks to CERN and others, they're kind of messing around. Oh, that's right, about the spirals up there. Let's see here. During the Renaissance, I'm just going to reread this. During the Renaissance, the identification of Cronus and Kronos gave rise to Father Time, wielding the harvesting scythe. I'm going to talk about that. I think that's how you say that word, scythe. I don't know. Observed attempts to give Kronos a Greek etymology had failed. Recently, Janda offers a genuinely Indo-European etymology of the cutter. All this means is that some academic guy out there basically is trying to break down the word, okay? And believes that it's related to the word cutter. Where was I? Oh, okay. Etymology of the word the cutter from the root scare, to cut, right? The English equivalent would be to shear, like how you shear a sheep, you cut its fleece. Motivated by Cronus's characteristic act of cutting the sky. Do you see that right above my head? Cutting the sky. Cronus would cut open the sky. Okay, this is huge. This is huge. Or the genitals of an anthropomorphic Uranus, however you want to say it. The Indo-Iranian reflex of the root is kar, generally meaning to make or create, whence karma. But Janda argues that the original meaning to cut in a cosmogonic sense is still preserved in some verses of the Rig Veda pertaining to Indra's heroic cutting like that of Cronus resulting in creation. Okay, so let me break this down. He cut the loftiness of the sky. Do you see that bottom part? See that down there at the bottom? He cut the loftiness of the sky. So there are these traditions that there are these gods, okay, specifically Kronos or Cronus or Indra and some other gods as well. They cut open the sky, okay? The sky is a physical object up there, and these gods, from time to time, which are electromagnetic activity and the results of that, cut open the sky. The sky burst open, and it was cut open. So there's two things happening. One, there's the depressurization. Boom, like the top basically blows off, right? Then you have the earth that's going to be growing and growing and growing. And because that sort of ice dome is connected to the earth, that's going to grow and grow and grow too, which means it's probably going to crack and break and be cut right across the sky, giving us another Milky Way or Great Rift in the galaxy, in the sky, right? And galaxy, we broke that one down when we talked about space being white. The word galaxy is related to milk, basically, which is why it's called the Milky Way. All right, so let's see here. What else do we got? Where was I? Let's check the notes. Okay, so we talked about Saturnalia and the origins of those types of things. All right, let's talk about Romans. Also around the time of the winter solstice. Let me get a different picture up here. All right, let's see here. Romans observed Juvenalia, which is the god Jove or Yov or Yahweh or Yahweh, etc. It's the same thing, basically. A feast honoring the children of Rome. In addition, members of the upper classes often celebrated the birthday of Mithra, the god of the unconquerable sun. On December 25th, it was believed that Mithra, an infant god, was born of a rock. Interesting. Born of a rock. Time out. Hold on. Stop the slideshow. How do I stop this thing? Stop it. Go back. I want to show you some pictures here. Born of a rock. Okay, so let's see. Where's a good one? Let me find a good one. This is a good one. Okay, so here. Remember I said that this picture right here, this blue beam right here, this is the crux, literally the crux of the whole of Christmas, okay? This is the sign, and I'm going to talk about it here in just a minute. I can't wait to talk about it. But born of a rock. Here's what happens, right? I drew this out before when I was using camera 2. But first we have the plasma that comes down in tentacle form, right? The fingers of God or whatever, tentacles of Cthulhu, whatever it's going to be. Plasma is going to inundate our world, come in here. It's going to dance around and do its thing or whatever for a while. But the sign that red plasma that comes down is gone and defeated is this light, this plasma right here that shoots upwards from the earth itself, fighting away the tentacle red plasma that comes down. Now, this one right here is just one beam that fights many, the hydra of multi-headed plasma serpents, okay? This one beam shoots up into the sky. This beam is not responsible for the actual plasma coming down being defeated. There's other stuff happening there, okay? But that's how it looks, okay? If you don't understand the dynamics, the mechanics, the chemistry of what's going on, you just see, scary plasma doing stuff. boom, blue beam, it's gone. It's all gone, right? And there's just this huge blue beam in the sky and everything's good and everything gets way better from here on out. Naturally, you're going to have some stories that follow that sound just like that, but with characters and stuff, right? So this beam shoots up out of the middle of our world, which is the North Pole, okay? Excuse me, I was getting thirsty. Cold and Sunny's in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, what about RH negative blood? Is it copper base, not iron, and they use copper? So will RH negatives be like lightning rods? I doubt it. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Okay, I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're trying to put metals in our body and that's going to attract the plasma and stuff. I don't feel that that's true. Okay, so it could be, but it doesn't resonate with me. I'm just going to say, I believe you can change the frequency of your body. You can literally put out a shield by your vibrations, by your good vibrations. Okay, because I believe that the plasma is literally on a search and destroy mission for evil. Okay, basically for bad guys. All right. So even if you eat, your Wheaties all the time and it's just laced with iron and whatever that, iron attracts electricity. So the plasma is going to get you. I think you'll be okay in that aspect, in that particular respect. If your vibe is good, if your energy is good, if your soul is good, if your spirit is right, you know what I mean? Whew, which is what I'm going to be working on. Okay. Cause I need to, I want to, dang it. I just want to be better. Don't you? I do. Anyway, yeah, good question, Cold and Sunny. All right, where was I? Let's get back to my notes here. Oh, that's right. So we were talking about Juvenalia in Rome, right? And they talked about the Mithra was born of a rock. That's the interesting thing here. So this right here, that's Mithra, basically, okay? And this light, aka Mithra, is born out of a rock. What rock? The rock, the black rock in the middle of our world, Rupas Negra, which is the black rock of the magnetic mountain called and commonly referred to as Mount Meru, okay, the ocean mountain. Mount Meru is at the middle of the world. Whether it's covered in water right now or not, I don't know, okay? It could be up above the flooded water. It could be underneath it. I don't know, but I do know there's an opening up there. And this light right here, because the light reverses, so all the energy is coming down. When we go through our pole shift or our polarity shift, right, it's going to freak out. It's going to go in all different directions. And then the light's going to come up from around our world, lighting up the dome itself, because it's going to wrap around the dome going up. And then you have this light, which is going to be the signal. It's basically the bat signal, okay, that the good guys are on the way, that the plasma apocalypse is over, that it's all getting better. So that's Mithra right there. And he was born of a rock. Now, sometimes it says that these Christ figures, remember, Christ doesn't necessarily mean savior. It means shining, essentially. So this is the shining one, okay, right there. And we're going to get more into this right now. So a lot of times these messiahs, these saviors, these Christ figures, these shining ones, they were always born of a rock or born in a cave, right? They were born in a manger, a cave, things like this. Zeus was born in a cave. Krishna was born in a cave. Abraham was born in a cave. Dionysus was born in a cave. Bacchus was born in a cave. Apollo was born in a cave. Attis was born in a cave. Mithra and Jesus, according to the Gospel of James, which is really interesting because it's kind of sounds like it talks about people zero gravity in this particular portion of James as well. But yeah, they were all born in a cave. What cave is that? It's the cave where this light shoots up, okay? It is the cave of time, essentially. It's a cave that is the entrance to the inner earth, to the hollow section that is underneath us. And we already know the earth has huge cavernous hollowed out areas. This is one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest one, okay? And this is where the inner light, okay, shoots upwards as that energy reverses. So that's what that is. That's why Godzilla, I talk about Godzilla's atomic breath all the time, right? In the newest Godzilla movie, you see Godzilla lift up his head. He always shoots this atomic breath like he's showing off, right? There's a reason they have Godzilla you could just put Godzilla right down here at the bottom of this. That's what they're showing you. Okay, he fights off King Ghidorah, which is this multi-headed serpent god, basically, kaiju, coming down out of the sky, whose weapon is lightning and plasma, basically. So that's Godzilla, who lives in the inner earth, shooting his little atomic breath up into the sky. All right, so let's see here. Let me check out some of these pictures we have. Let's talk about, I'm going to come back to this symbol right here in just a second. Let me check the chat. Okay, cool. All right. Let's talk about the star of Jesus, right? We all know the story that you had the wise men who followed the star of Jesus, right? Or Star of David, whatever the star was. This story, just all by itself, doesn't make a lot of common sense, okay? Because if there's this star up in the sky and they're following it in order to try to get to this place, like the star throughout the night, each night, because they followed it for a long time, right? It would like be moving across the sky. It would start in the east. So if they were following the star, they would literally be walking eastward. And then as the star went up, the star would move south. And then they would be moving south. And then as the star went west, they would make a big U. And then the next day, they would just turn around. This would have the Magi walking in circles. Okay, so it's not just a star like you see the other stars in the sky. It was a fixed light in the sky. And all they had to do was walk towards it. It's pretty simple, right? So that's why the star of Jesus here, that's always shown right above Bethlehem, right above where they were born. This is the star that the wise men, the Magi, the magicians, whatever. This is the star that they followed because it wasn't a star at all. It was not a star like you see the other stars up there in the sky. It was the world tree. It was the light of the world, which is Jesus, right? It's the light of the world. Everybody can see it from any point in the world because it's right there in the middle and it goes all the way up to the top. And that's how they were able to get to it. They were wise enough to know we should go there, okay? There's a good reason they wanted to go there. But yeah, it's just a fixed point. And it's pretty simple. Like, I mean, that doesn't really require a lot of other explanation. Oh, so here's, this is Luxor, okay, in Las Vegas. I think it's Luxor. But a lot of times you'll see this pyramid type shape with a light shooting out of the top of the pyramid. This is not supposed to be, I mean, I know it's a pyramid and it's supposed to be Egyptian or whatever. This has nothing to do with Egypt whatsoever. This has everything to do with Rupas Negra, the Black Mountain, the magnetic mountain at the North Pole called Mount Meru. Okay, that's what this is. It's a giant magnet, basically. It's been magnetized by this particular process, and the plasma shoots up out of the middle. This is the sign of peace. This is literally, hey, I just got a Brit just gave me a Christmas present of $20. Thank you, Brit. And a cool little sticker in the super chat. It says, you are amazing. Well, thank you, Brit. I think you're amazing too. Merry Christmas to you. I love that. That's great. So this is the worldwide symbol for peace. It's literally the peace sign. I don't know if you guys understood, like, has anyone ever wondered, like, why is this the peace sign? This looks like a chicken foot. Like, why is that a peace sign? I don't get it, right? Well, what it is just the shape of our world here. Like, there's the sky. Or wait, hold on, let me show you my mouse. There's the sky right there, okay? This is Mount Meru in the middle. This is the volcanic mountain. It's not really volcanic. And this is the beam of plasma shooting all the way up from the inner earth all the way up to the sky. That's the sign for peace. That's the sign that the plasma apocalypse is over and done. Right? So this is the nativity scene, right? Even Christians understand that Jesus was not born in December. Like everybody's pretty much acknowledging this, like the actual Jesus and whether or not he was a person and stuff. Like, even there's a huge debate within Christianity. Like, there's no way he could have been born in December. Like, even in a cave, it'd be freezing. It'd be so cold. Like, where is the fire? Where's the campfire? Like, somebody should have brought some wood for a campfire instead of gold, like, or a jacket, a little jacket for baby Jesus. Cause it's December, man. It's cold out there. But yes, it's not the birth of Jesus. It's the light of the world. That's the Savior. That's the tree of life. Here, let's take another look at it. Let's see here. Where's a good one? Okay, I like this one right here. This is a good one. I have no idea what this is from, but this is cool. So let's look at this right here. Right? I wish I could draw on these pictures. I got to figure out a way to draw. Hey, Mr. Dynamics in the chat. Mr. Dynamics says, JayDreamerZ, at the true north, I believe we could live hundreds of years without aging because of the magnetic power. What do you think? I think that's very possible. And if you go into the earth, I believe that conditions exist that do allow for an elongated lifespan. So after the plasma apocalypse, I believe that the conditions will exist here on the surface level in order for us to all live for a very, very long time. I don't know how long, but probably for at least hundreds of years. Okay. So yeah, good one, Mr. Dynamic, for pointing that out. Now, this right here, this is the sign. This is the light. Remember how this is the light of the world. Okay. This is when it talks about Jesus, when it talks about the Savior, this is the sign, right? And in the Bible, it talks about how, in the end, the sign of the Son of Man, that right there, will be seen by everybody. Everybody will see it, okay? Because it's in the middle, and the world is not shaped like that, but more like a snow globe, okay? Everybody's going to see this. This is the tree of life. Now, this plasma right here that shoots up, it's not just going to be a beam. And this is Project Bluebeam, by the way. Okay, this is also the blue fairy that brings inanimate objects to life, etc. Grants wishes, makes magic, all that stuff. This right here is going to also take on its own shapes, just like the plasma that came downward, okay? At first, it's just going to be a beam, okay? It's going to be a staff. Now, the sign of the Son of Man is not a crucifix. I don't know if you guys knew that, okay? Jesus' symbol was not a crucifix. He was not hung upon a cross with a cross section, a cross beam. Yes, there was a sign that was posted up on his stake, but that's what he was hung upon, was a stake, not a cross. The original Greek word is stauros, and stauros just means stake or staff, basically, right? Not sure if you guys knew that or not, but this is Jesus's sign right here. This is the sign of the Son of Man. This is the world tree. This is Jack's beanstalk. This is the tree of life. Okay. This is, what else? What else do we call this? There's so many names for this. This is the sword and the stone. This is all kinds of things. But yeah, this is the symbol that it's going to be okay. You made it. If you see this, you're good. If you see this, I mean, there's still some stuff you have to watch out for, especially Phanazoids. Okay. Which I love talking about. I need to make more Phanazoid videos. It's my favorite subject. Hey, you guys see my t-shirt? You see that? It's like Santa Claus, but Bigfoot. All right, let me jump in the chat here. Joseph Baker. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Joseph Baker says, also the movie The Fifth Element, at the end, the fifth element shoots white light into the sky like Godzilla to defeat evil. Yep, that's exactly what that is. You totally got it right. This blue beam, this bluish white beam shooting up in the sky, this is all over the place, okay? This is all over the place, and it's usually at the end of a movie too. Like if it's, if they have one of these light pillars, it's usually at the end, and it usually signifies that like something good is happening, or I don't know, the apocalypse, stuff like that. This is also your tractor beam, by the way, which is, I have that on my website too, but this is your whole tractor beam. Tractor beams are always shown in this color right here. Okay, the tractor beams are never red or anything like that. They're always this color. And that's because there's going to be zero gravity and there's going to be people floating around and getting sucked up into the sky. So this kind of looks like Independence Day to some people, right? And a lot of people are going to think that's what's happening because that's all they understand. They're just going to think aliens are coming. Oh, they're sucking us up into their mothership. That's, I don't blame people, hey, but we got to learn to dig deep into these stories to get those grains of truth. You know what I mean? To look through the story, to see past the story form of it and to see into the truth of it. Okay. Where was I? Oh, anyway, I want to talk about the shape. So this shape's going to do a few other things too. It's also going to hit the dome. Well, it's going to hit the electromagnetic barrier because that's going to go back up. Okay. It'll be a weak electromagnetic barrier to begin with, but it's going to go back up. The plasma still cannot escape. Okay, it's repelled by the barrier. So instead of going around our world like it was when it was coming down, it's going to go up and fill up the sky, like basically filling our world with electromagnetic energy and plasma, aka magic, aka spirit. And remember how I said that the plasma, probably like the smaller plasma down here on the surface level, may, because I believe it's sentient, may just take on the shape of whatever it wants to. It's a shapeshifter, literally, and it can just look at you and take on like a sort of human-looking shape if it wants to, which I believe it probably will. And this is going to give us Ghostbusters 2 in real life. That's literally going to happen. Like, this is the day of the dead. This is the day where the spirits come back. This is Wake the Dead. You know, this is zombies coming back to life, because that plasma is also going to reanimate the dead. It's also going to bring to life inanimate objects, especially electronics. Any toys that are electronic, which is why the movie Toys is based on reality as well. GGA is in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, 3 days of darkness in Egypt prior to the Exodus. Plasma apocalypse will bring darkness. Perhaps 3 days prior to the greater Exodus, history repeats itself for real. I totally agree with you. That's why I'm always telling my family, like, hey, if the sun goes out, hold on to something. Especially if you're outside. Like, if you're going to be outside around Christmas time, or especially around the solstice, okay, which is typically around December 21st, keep an eye out for where you are. I don't recommend being in a car, okay? Like, I took that risk. I'm going to admit it. I took that risk. I took a car down. I was just driving down to New Mexico to see my family. And yeah, I really did not feel it was coming this year. I have not seen some of the other signs that I wanted to see, that I need to see in order to know that, like, hey, this could be the year. I know it's close, but I didn't think it was this year. But yeah, if you're in a car, dude, say you're going 80 miles an hour down the road and the lights turn off, that means that gravity probably turned off as well. So your car is just going to be floating up into the sky. Okay. But yeah, you want to hold on to something. At the very least, reach down and grab a handful of grass, you know? Benjamin Crossland says, JayDreamer, center of the earth, also Ophilos, the stone Kronos coughed up. Ooh, I like that. Could be, Benjamin. That's a good one. I like how you're thinking. Semyaza says Bird Box. Bird Box is all about that. Bird Box is, do not look into the deadlights, okay? Don't stand there and watch all of this. Remember, it's going to be beautiful, okay? All the plasma and stuff is going to be very pretty. And also, I just want to throw in there, although it sounds very terrifying and scary, I absolutely believe that the universe, higher self, God, whatever you want to call it, is not so harsh as that, okay? I believe that a lot of this is actually going to be a very pleasant experience, even for people who are dying, okay? There's going to be a huge influx of nitrous oxide. I think there's going to be a lot of conditions, like people are going to see beautiful lights. A lot of people are going to feel raptured. I don't know how else to say it, but I mean, I don't feel too bad, so to speak. Okay. At least there's a good side to it. But anyway, that's beside the point. All right. So this shape right here, it's going to go up and hit the dome, which is going to turn it into the scythe, or Thor's hammer, or the T, the crux, whatever you want to call it. It's going to make a couple of different shapes after it's just its initial beanstalk shape, right? All right, so let's see here. What else do we got? Let me check the notes one more time. All right, so we talked about the wise men. We talked about the star. And there were not 3 wise men, okay? Let me just throw that out there. Okay, it just says wise men. The Bible never says there was only 3. There's 3 gifts given by the wise men. But there was probably a lot. It was probably a caravan of wise men. Lots and lots of them, okay? And it was probably plasma apocalypse survivors that went to go where the gods, where the new beings, where those other people came down to meet them, to have first contact. But that's another story. All right, the light of the world. We talked about that. We talked about being born in a cave. Oh, yeah, so this shape right here is going to hit the dome and turn into the sickle, the hook, right? Thor's hammer, the scythe, the crucifix, Staros, beanstalk, world tree. This is the world tree, okay? Now, there will be real trees that grow to titanic growth, just like people will grow to titanic growth. But this world tree is plasma. This is the tree of life, okay? And this is actually what really fills up our world with that plasma, with that electromagnetic energy, which is going to connect all of us, giving us psychic abilities and heightening those powers that some of us already have, right? Really increasing them and doing a lot to turn this regular, boring world into one of fantasy and astonishment. All right, let me go on and see what else do we have. Oh, I'm supposed to check my phone. I left myself a note. I had some notes written here on my phone. All right, let's take it back to Christmas here. Okay, so Christmas is all about being good or bad to receive gifts, right? From Santa, who's dressed like this because he's the plasma that comes down, right? That's also why Santa has to go through your chimney to get in the house. Okay? Santa can't just open the door. Santa can't just use magic and turn the lock or whatever. He has to go through some opening that is already there, which is the chimney, because Santa is the plasma. Okay? And if you're good, which means your vibration is good, right? If you have been nice and you're on the nice list, you get gifts, powers, not presents. Okay, you have presence of mind and stuff like that, but you get gifts. We receive gifts from Santa, from the plasma. You literally get psychic abilities and some other stuff, abilities to manipulate the electromagnetic field around you called your aura and use it for different things. So yeah, you get gifts if you're good. If you're not good and you have a bad vibration, you get coal, which is used to burn stuff. Okay, so yeah, I mean, basically you're going to get burned by Santa, or you get coal. That could also mean petrification, depending on how strong the plasma is. But still, either way, it's all about morality. It's all about your vibe. It's all about energy. It's all about your spirit. And I am somebody, I'm just going to be honest with everybody. I'm somebody who wants so bad to just jump head first into full positive vibe mode, but I've really been in the middle for most of my life. So I've been struggling a lot lately. That's how I know we're also really close to this, because like I said, those people who are energetically speaking kind of in the middle, very neutral, like it's really going to tug. You know what I mean? Like those of us who haven't really made a decision to just be bad or to just be good, that would be me. Like, I'm just going to be honest. And we're going to struggle a lot, way more than everybody else. Bad people, they'll find it easier to just get worse. Good people will find it easier and love it getting so much better, being so much more positive. People who are neutral, it's going to tear at you. It's going to make you basically force you to make a decision. Which side are you going to join? Which side are you on? Are you going to be the good vibe or the bad vibe? Because the plasma comes in and it knows if you're good or bad. How does it know this? How does Santa know this? Because they can read your aura. Okay, Santa Claus doesn't have microscopic nanobot cameras all over the world and a system of elves that are just reporting on everyone's morality because he's spying on you. No, man, he can just read your aura. He doesn't even have to know you. He just has to look right at you, see your aura, which is your electromagnetic vibe, right? You have a good vibe, you're going to glow a certain color, okay? You have a bad vibe, you're going to glow another color. So that's what Christmas is all about. That's the Christmas spirit. That's why we're all trying really hard to put on a smiley face and be happy, right? You want to do it genuinely, though. You want to be genuine, okay? It's not about gift giving. It's not about any of this stuff. It's about love. It's about putting others first, okay? It's about acknowledging your own faults and working on them, actively trying to become bettering yourself and growing and becoming a better person, letting go of the past and moving forward with intention and good vibrations and love. All right, that's my little pep talk. All right, we've got Outcast in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, what do you think about the atmosphere changing to a more buoyant and density changing to lift us versus gravity? The theory of gravity seems to have really some massive holes. I'm not going to argue I'm not saying you're arguing, but I don't want to get into like definitions. People will float. You can call that whatever you want, okay? Everything's going to float. Pennywise says you'll float too. He didn't need to use the word gravity. He didn't need to use the word density and buoyancy. He didn't need to break it down. everything that is not attached to the earth has a very real possibility of floating up into the sky when the wind starts to blow. Call it whatever you like it, right? Thank you. Appreciate it. Semyaz is in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, work on oneself, and in the long run, you have lost nothing, only gaining positive energy and love. Thank you. Hey, Semyaza, did you get my email? I don't know if you got my email. I emailed you. I need a job, and I'm pretty sure you offered me a job. Somebody offered me like a job, like a real one. Okay, not YouTube is not paying the bills right now, and I live alone right now, so I need a job. I need to get some work. If that's you, please email me, or anybody else that can give me a decent paying job. That'd be great. All right. Anyways, Hopi's in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, you are one of the good ones. Ah, thank you. I'm so trying. So trying. There is no try. Thank you, Yoda. Thank you, Yoda. Wherever you are out there, thank you for coming to mind right now. There is no try, only do. Right? You are one of the good ones. You don't have to try that hard. God isn't cruel. He will save you. I'm not interested in being saved. I'm telling you the truth right now. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in love. That's me personally. I'm interested in living this life for the reason that I have to live it, which is relationships, other people, and getting to experience and bring out the best in others while I'm here. You know, we're all going to go sometime. I want to make the most, excuse me. I want to make the most of my time while I'm here. And for me, that means strengthening relationships that I have with other people and improving the lives of others after I have looked inward and begun my own journey of self-improvement. I looked inside and I've learned to love myself and to like myself and to support myself and to spread that joy and that inner peace around to everyone else wherever I go. That's the alchemist. And that's what I want. So, DK Knight says, does the flying spaghetti monster also considered the metaphor of plasma as it starts to come down from the opening of the dome? Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what the flying spaghetti monster is. Actually, if you watch this TV show I was talking about called Raising Dion, it's all about the plasma apocalypse. The bad guy in the movie, who turns out he like morphs into this huge storm, he wears all of these plasma apocalypse t-shirts. He's wearing a Friday the 13th one. That's the dead coming to life, right? And then he wore the flying spaghetti monster shirt too, which was interesting because he was the storm. He was the plasma storm. Yeah, good one, DK. Let's see. Semyaza says, I got you. Be in the spring in March. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Let's get back to the subject here. Oh yeah, I was supposed to check my phone. Okay, so it's all about morality, being good or bad, right? Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, if you know the story, it was so foggy. It was like a foggy night at the North Pole. So Santa couldn't see to come down into everyone's chimneys and do his job. So Rudolph lit everything up with this red light. That's the red light of the plasma apocalypse. That is the red light of the reversal, the polarity reversal. That's the red light of the plasma itself coming down, okay? That's Rudolph and his red nose. It's also sort of, what was that? I can't remember the name. I think it was Odin that had like a 8-legged reindeer or something. I forgot its name. But those are also the Phantazoids, by the way. The reindeer, those are the Phantazoids coming down into our world. Oh, I love the Phantazoids so much. All right, what else do we got? Oh, we talked about Rudolph. Silent Night. It's going to be super quiet after the initial bang of the world depressurizing. Okay, it's going to be a wind tunnel. Okay, and you can't hear in a wind tunnel. Okay, everything's going to be blowing around and it's going to get sucked up, and then it's going to be the quietest you have ever heard any silence in your life. It'll almost feel like it's loud. It's so quiet. Okay, if that makes sense. It's going to be the quietest night. That's why you have silent night, holy night, all this calm, all this quiet, right? That's what that song's about. It's going to be super quiet. That's the sound of silence. Okay. That whole song is about that too. Let's see here. Yeah. The sound of silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend, because it's a dark night. It's a silent night. There's no light anywhere. Anyway, check out that song. The whole song is about the plasma apocalypse. Let's see here. We also have, Oh, the lighting candles thing. I already talked about that. All right, cool. So that's pretty much, let me go over some of these pictures here. I know I've been on this one forever. I want to see if there's anything that I missed that I want to share with you. This was a pretty cool revelation, right? The peace sign. That's the Mount Meru. Let's go back to it. Mount Meru, the plasma shooting all the way up, and then our world. Deadpool is also seen in this, if you can see Deadpool in this, right? I can. Because it's like without these two, without the pyramid portion, that's Deadpool's face. That's his logo right there. And that's actually relevant because Deadpool wears red, the color of the plasma, and he can't die, basically. He has super healing powers, just like Wolverine. And this is what happens whenever that you see the light of the world comes, okay, and the Savior is born, etc. Healing, which is electromagnetic activity, that blue light goes everywhere, influxes our world, and creates the byproduct of oxygen and some other stuff, which is why it's blue, because it's like probably oxygenated plasma. But this is going to be healing the whole world. Like whatever, if you're sick or something and you make it to that blue light, you're probably going to get well, is going to be my guess. Okay. Because this is always associated with healing, and not just regular healing, but rapid healing, like healing powers, like just like how Wolverine, he heals super quick. I imagine that that's what's going to happen to your bodies. And an elongated lifespan. So I know a lot of you would like to have one of those. Let's see. Oh, we've got this. If you see up here at the top, I don't know, let me see if I can bring it down a little. Nah, you can't really see it. Well, at the top it says X, and then it's got a P going through the X. You see that up there? Let me see if I can make that bigger. Yep. All right, so we've got the X up here, and then there's a P up here. This is actually just the North Pole, and this is the light shooting up and hitting the dome and bending back over. It's also He in Greek. That's the letter He. The X is pronounced He. And then the P is actually Ro. So this literally says hero, right? Like the word Cairo, Egypt, Cairo is also hero. Chiropractor, right? These are all the same types of words. People who heal. This is healing symbol. This is also the symbol for medicine, right? Typically it isn't drawn like this, but it's got like the P with the X attached over here for some reason. But he and Ro, that's what that is. Pretty interesting. Okay. I'm going to leave it on this image right here. Actually, no. You know what? Let me go to my... I want to leave it on the cool thumbnail I made. I like the thumbnail that I made for this particular little special. And then I'm going to jump in the chat and answer any questions. So if you have any questions, this is the portion where I'm going to jump in the chat, answer as many questions as I can. I may be coming out with a new membership tier where you can call me personally on my cell phone. Okay? I'm going to think about how I need to work that. Okay? Because I want people to take advantage of it. But, you know, I got to figure out more ways to make money so that I can write my book and get it published and pay bills. So I might just open myself up to talking to people and explaining anything if they want a like one-on-one session with me about the plasma apocalypse or anything else. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, if you want to ask me anything, just type in @JayDreamerZ into the chat and I'll try to get to that. I thought I was going to do something, but I totally forgot what I was going to do. Oh, also I want to thank, let's see here. I want to thank Britt for her Christmas gift donation, Benjamin Crossland for his Christmas gift donation, London for her Christmas gift donation, and welcome Nibiru Followers Anonymous and Rose Loves Christ Always as the newest channel members. Welcome to all of you. I'm happy to have you guys. And thank you very much for all of the donations and stuff. Also, remember to go check out my website, JayDreamerZ.com, where there's the esoteric library and all of my own studying material and stuff. Some of the stuff from my book is in there as well. All right, so I'm back in the chat and we've got Mr. Dynamic. And Mr. Dynamic in the chat says, rocks will fall upon man, but death will not come. What do you think? It's a Bible quote. Yes, that's totally right. Well, it talks about how men, in those days, men will seek death, but will not find it, right? That's because there is an influx of life in our world when this happens. Plasma is spirit. And when plasma comes into our world in flux, Our world is basically alive and everything in it. And it's very, very difficult to die during this particular event and probably for a little while afterwards, right? That's why not just in the Bible, it talks about how people are going to find it difficult to die. Some people are going to want to die for whatever reasons, right? I don't know. But they're not going to be able to, okay? Because the world's going to be full of life and healing and all sorts of wonderful, awesome stuff. But the Quran in Islam, the Quran talks about this as well. It talks about how two men will walk past a grave and say, I wish that I lived in that. But they're basically, it means they can't die, right? Good points, good points. Oh, and stuff is going to be falling down, so watch out for that, okay? There's a lot of stuff you got to watch out for. Watch out for floating up into the air without anything to hold on to. Watch out for the winds blowing. Watch out for liquefaction. You don't want to get sucked down, okay? It's probably a good idea to have some sort of flotation device handy in your little go bag or whatever you have to get ready, for stuff. You want to watch out for the earthquakes and debris and things falling down all the way around you. The earth can possibly open up, and you want to watch out for stuff that comes back down, because some stuff isn't going to get sucked out. Some stuff is just going to come back down. How fast it comes back down is going to depend on, like I said, that new gravitational pull, right? Or whatever you want to call it. Okay. I don't think that everything's going to fall down back as fast as it would today, which is why I think a lot of stuff's actually going to be able to survive if it comes back down, like the Phantazoids coming down or the bipedal fractalverse travelers. Okay, so back into the chat. Semyaza says, incoming Skype circuits of time. Oh, you know what? Do I have that on? I hope I have it on. Let me see if I have it. Where is it? Let me turn on Skype. Hold on. I don't think I turned it on. Nobody's been calling in, so I forgot to turn it on. Let me get that pulled up right now. Hey, I got a donation, a Christmas gift from Cloven E. Ooh. Uh-oh. It's installing Skype. I hope that doesn't mess up our live stream. Why is it installing Skype? I did not want to install Skype. Oh, Cloven E says, donated $10. Come on, Cam. Says, Plasma Apocalypse for life. Plasma love from TOJ. Well, thank you. What's TO? Where is TO? What is that? Hey, thank you, Cloven, very much for your Christmas gift. I appreciate you. And Rue, I am Groot, made a Christmas donation as well and says, thank you, Jay. Everyone, Merry Christmas. You're very welcome. And Merry Christmas to you guys, too, as well. Let's see here. So I'm trying to get Skype pulled up right now. I believe I have it up. All right, so if somebody wants to Skype and call in, and you know how to do it, you can go ahead. I believe I have it on. Let me see. It should be on. Oh, there it is. Where did I put that little Skype logo? I don't see the Skype logo. Hold on, I'm going to try to put it. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, I see. I think I've got to change. 1 second. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay, well, I got to wait till... Oh, I think Semyaza's calling in. Hold on, let me see. Go ahead and call in. I think you have to call in first, and then I have to, turn it on. This is the first time... Well, it's the second time somebody's called in. Hold on. He's typing me right now. Yeah, go for it. Let's call. Here, I'll call you. Bum-bum-bum-bum. Oh, I love the little ringtone. Bum-bum-bum. Bum-bum-bum. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Yeah, I don't think it's working. Aw, sad. Okay, well, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting anybody to call in. But I tried to call Semyaza. We weren't able to get that up. Oh, let me see. Does anybody else have any questions about Christmas time, symbolism, the plasma apocalypse? Mr. Dynamic is in the chat and says, oh, Eyes to See says Happy Saturnalia. Mr. Dynamic says the sun will rise in the west and set in the east afterwards. What do you think? Yeah, it definitely will, because the light's going to be spinning the other direction, right? So right now it's spinning, what is it, clockwise, right? So it's going to be spinning counterclockwise when it goes in the other way. Zologa G says, JayDreamerZ, what do you think about Toy Story 4 movie? It's all about the plasma apocalypse with clues about the date of the event and the destruction of the moon. I have not seen Toy Story 4 yet, but I'm not surprised. Now I want to see it, actually. Is it on Redbox? Maybe I could go rent it tonight. I don't know. Marcus Basillo says, JayDreamerZ, please talk about the magnetic poles shifting. Oh, hey, Semyaza's calling. Oh, I'll get right back to you, Marcus. Semyaza, what's up, dude? Can you hear me? Good. Let me see if people can hear you. This is the first time I'm gonna work this out real quick. Let me see if I can get this to work. Okay, hold on. I know how to fix this. Give me 1 second. I just have to re-add this little tidbit here. There we go. Yeah, go ahead and say something. Say hi to everybody. Okay, let me know in the chat if you guys can hear Semyaza. Please. You can hear yourself? Oh, gotcha. All right, let me check the chat. Can you guys hear Semyaza in the chat? Oh, okay. Mother Dragon says no. I take her word for it. So let me just make one little adjustment here. All right, now go ahead
Now
and
try.
say testing.
Testing.
All right, now how about now in the chat? How about now? This should work. I'm pretty sure this works. I got to give it a second so that it can reach the audience.
Okay.
Oh, Dirk Mira says yes. Skarbowski says yep. Okay, cool. All right, great. We're live. Hey, thanks for calling, man, because I'm glad
course.
somebody did.
Of course. I always figured I didn't want to blow up the phone every time. I didn't know if other people were calling.
Nope. This is the first time since I've opened up the circuits.
Since the last time we tested it.
Yeah, well, the first time was just kind of a test, and I don't know how. That just miraculously worked out of nowhere. I didn't even do anything.
Yeah. So how was your Christmas? Good?
You know, honestly, Christmas started off lonely. It did, because I'm by myself, and I was tempted to just get real down. I was tempted to get super down, and I did for a little while. And
Well, if I'd have known you were spending time alone there at Christmas, I'd have flown you down to Florida.
That would have been pretty cool.
Down to West Palm Beach.
There's a silver lining, which is, I was invited to go over to my son's mother's house and, have a family dinner over there with my son and see all of her side of the
That's
family.
always
and
good.
Stuff. Yeah, so
It's family first, always.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep. Okay, well, let's see if anyone else tries to call in. You have a good day and a good night.
All right, cool, man. Thank you. All right. Have a
Good
happy
evening.
Christmas and happy holiday.
You too, Jay.
All right, bye. All right, so that was Semyaza calling in. Sorry about the volume. I guess I had his volume on super high. I hope you guys were able to still understand him. But I did turn the volume down there at the end because I wasn't looking at the chat. Oh, my volume's not loud enough? Should I turn my volume up? Because I totally can. Does anybody else want to call in? It's Christmas. I'm willing to hang out and just chat if you want to. So my volume, how's this? Is this better? I turned it up a skosh, a little tiny bit. Is this better? Okay, so it's good now. Hey, you guys can always tell me if it's too low, too loud, something's not working. Just let me know. I'll do my best to fix it. All right, I'm jumping back in the chat. So right now, this is the after party. Okay, this is the JayDreamerZ after party Christmas. We're just gonna hang out in the chat for a bit. Cause honestly, I don't have anything else to do, and it's Christmas time. And if I don't hang out with you fine people, I'm gonna go blast music. And I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll play video games or clean the house or something. All right, let's see here. KMW says, JayDreamerZ, your volume without Skype is loud, and with Skype, it gets low. Okay. All right, so right now, how's the volume? Should I turn it down a little tiny bit, or is it good right now? I'm just going to wait for just a second because I just want to make sure we get this fixed. Whatever you did when you connected Skype, when it went really low. Oh, okay. Oh, as soon as I disconnected. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn mine down just a tiny bit right now. So here's what I'll do. Next time we get a Skype caller, okay, using the Circuits of Time membership, I'm going to turn them down a tiny bit, and I'm going to turn me all the way up. So I'll remember to do that next time that happens. It's crazy. You have to learn so much doing this. Like, there's so much that gets involved in all of this stuff. It's so technical, and stuff is always changing. Did you guys like this shirt? I posted some cool stuff about the plasma apocalypse in my stories mode, or man, what else did I do that on? Well, I did it on Facebook, but I don't think you guys have my Facebook. I totally posted about it in, man, I don't know. Do you guys think I should do more social media? Maybe I should, huh? Maybe that would make me feel a bit better. Like, getting more out there and talking to you guys a little bit more often. But yeah, I totally posted this little deal when I was singing the song Trampoline on my stories mode. And that is like, I heard that song and I never really heard it before. And I listened to it and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I turned it up because I was in the car. And she says, I've been having dreams, jumping on a trampoline. Right? The trampoline is the flat land. That's just a symbol of it, okay? She says, jumping on the trampoline, flipping in the air. I never land, just float there. I was like, whoa, are you serious? Oh my God, if she talks about something happening in the sky, I'm going to go nuts. So I kept listening to the song and she goes, suddenly, oh no, then she says, as I'm looking up, suddenly the sky erupts. And I was like, oh, I love this song. I love this song so much. And then it goes on to say, flames alight the trees, spread to falling leaves. Suddenly they're upon me, right? It's totally all plasma apocalypse. It's awesome. All right, it's back in the chat. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chat. At JayDreamerZ is how you get my attention, and people are typing it a bunch. So let me read these. The balance between was off. Okay, I see. Thank you, Mr. Dynamic. GGA says, JayDreamerZ, please comment on the correlation between the illuminated Christmas tree and the tree of knowledge and the illuminated tree of knowledge of good and evil in the Gan/garden. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. So this right here, this is the tree of life. This is also the Christmas tree, okay? Remember, you're going to have the world spinning around this particular object, this beam. When it shoots up into the sky, everything is going to be all spinning around it, flying around in this world tempest. Probably little explosions in the air, little lights of flickering things here and there, because you're going to have a lot of stuff happening up there in the air. There's going to be a lot of stuff sucked up into the air, okay? And plus there's going to be plasma up there as well. So it's all going to be spinning around this light right here, bigger at the bottom, where it's going to be spinning around the base of the world or the surface of the world and getting smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes up and out of the dome. And when this shoots up, it's going to light all of that stuff up and you're going to see a Christmas tree. Okay. You're going to see the light of the world, basically. Let's see. Mother Dragon says, JayDreamerZ, I'm watching the Doctor Who marathon on BBC America and the Christmas episode, The Last Christmas, with the Facehuggers is on. Ooh, great. I love that one. That one's awesome when Santa Claus comes in and, that's so good. They're all dreaming. That's a part of the plasma apocalypse too, is a lot of people are going to pass out. Okay. I know. Like, how do you say that with like a smile on your face? Because I think it's funny, honestly. That's what Freddy Krueger's all about. That's why he wears this red stripes and his fingers hurt people or whatever, you know. That's what that's all about. Like some people will pass out. They will fall asleep and they're going to suck in way too much nitrous oxide, not have enough oxygen. They're just going to pass out. And when they wake up, they're not going to remember. They're going to have amnesia. So that's why it's a good idea to be wise and do small preparations for those types of events. Yeah, the face huggers. So the face huggers, that's basically the plasma, the smaller strands that come in and they want to dock. They want to upload your brain information. That's why the aliens always want your brain, right? And they're going to dock through your eyes. That's why those face huggers in the movies, they always go over the eyes. They always go over the front part. And that's why, like somebody else said, Semyaza mentioned Bird Box, right? See no evil. Like, don't look at it. Like, don't allow the plasma to come into your eyes, because if you do, you're going to get flashy thingied. It's going to probably make you pass out. And you may become plasma possessed and become a thrall. Who knows? But at the very least, your memories will probably be wiped. Oh, I just got a text. Did I get a text? Nope, I got a notification. Oh, cool. Somebody just joined the website. Cool. I don't know who that is, but I'll check in a little while, and welcome to my website. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Back in the chat. Mother Dragon. No. Outcast. Oh, Outcast. I see. That's clever. I like that. Outcast says, JayDreamerZ, whatever you did when you connected Skype was when it went really low, like default. Okay, I see. Yeah, I got you. I'm way back in the chat. Hold on. Yokohama Mike says, JayDreamerZ, what's up with the inner earth? Are you an Olaf smoky god believer? Yes, I am. There is an inner earth. Okay, there's opening areas down there underneath us. There are huge caverns underneath the so-called crust of the earth. Okay, and beings and extinct animals and life and phanazoids and all kinds of stuff live down there. The elven race, the dark elves, all that stuff. They all live down there. And they have their own inner earth star, which is that thing when it shoots up, right? Let's see. KMW says, yeah, cool shirt. I saw it on YouTube stories days ago. Oh, cool. That's my YouTube stories tab. I like that. Let's see. Rue I am Groot says, I like Mother Dragon's question. What does she ask? I don't know if she did ask a question. Did I miss your question? Mario Gonzalez just subscribed. Welcome, Mario. You get a little Groot dance. All right, let's see here. Where were we? Dr. Jack Skywatcher says, you know what? That reminds me of Doctor Who as well. Dr. Jack Skywatcher says, JayDreamerZ, they all sing about it. Every song. I totally agree. They do. Every single one of them, they're singing about the plasma apocalypse. That's all I hear. And you know what? I want to address something too. For those of us who understand, who get the whole cyclical reset thing, you start seeing it freaking everywhere. I'm sorry. But you start seeing it everywhere, okay? There can be the temptation that you feel like you're crazy. I'm dead serious because it's happened to me often. And sometimes I wonder, like, if I talk about it too much, honestly, maybe I do, because some people don't care. Some people just want to live their life, right? And that's what I want to do. I don't want to be, and I want to warn all of you, don't take my path. Don't get buried in research and only concerned with facts and information and knowledge and studying and stuff. Let that stuff go sometimes. Get out there and hug people and kiss people and hold hands and play and strengthen relationships, man. Because that stuff's like gold. It really is. That's just from me to you. Let's see here. Zaloga G says, JayDreamerZ, yes, Jay, we would be most happy if you did some more social media. We all need some support these times to keep those vibes strong and healthy. All right, so right now my social media, I've got Instagram, which I occasionally post to, okay? So I've got the Instagram thing. I don't want to make a Facebook page because I don't have the time to like be in charge of it, basically. So if somebody out there who already has my trust wants to do that, let me know. I'll be happy to work with you on that so that you can be in charge of it. I don't have time to do all that. I can't. No way. Because I wouldn't want it to be all, people fighting and arguing. I don't want it to be like that. Let's see here. Oh, what else do I have for social media? I'm open to suggestions as well, And not only that, but I want to make more friends. Like, I need more people in my life. I've been reclusive for way too long. And honestly, it's affected my life. Like, this thing that I do for you guys has affected me. And I lost people that I love as a byproduct. So I hope at least that much of it lets you know how much I love and care about what I talk about. Definitely affected me. That was my fault. Allowing it to affect me, that was totally my fault. But I don't want to get off topic. Oh, Mother Dragon's like, I didn't ask any questions yet. Plasma Dolphin 11 says, JayDreamerZ, do you have any new shows or movies about the plasma apocalypse? Yeah, go check out Raising Dion on Netflix. Like, that's all about the plasma apocalypse. Corey L says, JayDreamerZ, I'm not really a hugger. Well, don't hug, man. Go love. Go appreciate. Go give. Go help. Go add. Add to the world. That's what I need to do. God, I gotta think of better ways to add. I know I do this. I know. I hope this gives me some credit when all this stuff happens. But in my personal life, man, I'm dying to be such a better person. So, anyway, I'm trying so hard. What's everyone drinking? Edgar Allan Poe's in the chat. Semyaza says, that's why I mentioned the job, communication with Minnie and learn, and you'll love it. I'm totally up for that. I need a job. Okay. I have to make money. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to pay rent, and then I'm not going to be able to do this anymore, at all. So my focus right now is on my son and myself, and keeping a roof over our heads and being able to pay bills. So I don't want to get too personal right now, but a lot of you guys, you understand, a little bit more about me and stuff. GGA says, JayDreamerZ, come to Phoenix. I can be like your second mom. Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to having a second mom. Sure. The more moms, the merrier, right? Forest Lily. Hey, I like that name. That's cool. Says, maybe a forum on your website. I do have a forum on my website. It's a members forum. It's like right there next to the Plasma Apocalypse tab. Bird says, JayDreamerZ, there is an animated movie called Patima Inverted about society that lives underground, upside down. It's similar to the Inner Earth, and they even have their own night sky and stars. Yeah, absolutely. That's probably what it's like down there, right? Because gravity, whatever you want to call it, okay, whatever's pulling us towards the Earth, right? It doesn't just follow one direction. It can go in different directions, especially when you get close to like the boundaries of our world and underneath our world. Marcus Basilio says, JayDreamerZ, BitChute is up and coming and a free space. I still want to talk about the North Pole moving 681 miles over the past 150 years. Yeah, the North Pole is like the magnetic North Pole. It's moving. Okay, so that's one easy way that we can track it. We could tell that it's in flux. And all these government agencies that are like designed to make you think they're looking out there into space, they're not. They're tracking what's going on in the local heavens and what's happening geomagnetically, because they want to know when this is coming too. Like, they're getting prepared. They're getting ready. I don't know if you guys saw at George Bush's dad's funeral, like they handed out those mysterious envelopes to everyone. I'm pretty sure that was a, hey, the countdown has begun kind of envelope, right? And they shut down the solar observatories in, what was it, Dulce? And like 6 other places around the world. They just shut them down because one of them had like some guy that had some porn on his computer or something and he shouldn't have. I don't believe that at all. I did a whole video about it, how somebody discovered something, probably at many of these observatories. They discovered a sign in the sky that basically was telling of what's going on and telling of the reality of our world. And so they shut down those observatories because it was an extinction level event declared. and they didn't want it getting out. They didn't want people knowing about it because they don't want mass hysteria, right? They want to keep it as quiet as possible all the way up until the point of no return for their own safety, right? I mean, which that makes sense to me. Let's see. Mr. Dynamic says, JayDreamerZ, you gained all of us as your new friends. If you're ever in Vegas, we will take you out in the town. Oh man, I went to Vegas once with a really good friend, and we saw the Blue Man Group, and it was great. And yeah, I'd love to go. I'd love to come back there someday. Thanks for the invite. Let's see. Plasma Dolphin 11 says, JayDreamerZ, The Flash and other CW superhero shows have a crossover about the end of all worlds called Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, you're totally right. And that is about the plasma apocalypse, but it's also about the plasma apocalypse happening on other realms, right? Because we have 9 local realms around us. We have our 9 worlds. But there's other realms in various places that are basically alternate Earths. That's the reality of our world written in comic book form. And the Crisis on Infinite Earths is all about the plasma apocalypse and all these superheroes trying to basically like save as many people as they can from each individual plasma apocalypse scenario on each realm. But yeah, that's what it's all about. Totally right. Let's see. Corey L says, JayDreamerZ, I will work at the loving and possibly the hugging to an extent. Hey, to each his own, right? I'm just sharing. That's what I want, man. Like, I was really hardened by life growing up. Like, all these situations that were opportunities for me to grow and work on myself, I took them all so hard, man. I became bitter. I really did. That's why I do my Sylvan Lining Tuesdays. That's why I'm trying so hard right now. I'm doing stuff in my personal life you guys are not even aware of to really try to really better myself, especially when it comes to other people. So anyway, that's just me. And it's not because like I want to be a better person so I can survive the plasma apocalypse. It's because I truly, genuinely just want to be a good, loving, decent, genuine, light-filled being and share that with other people. I'm tired of being oppressed by the shadow of fear, man. I'm tired of the darkness coming into my life and deceiving me and tricking me into thinking that, I have to be scorned or jaded or angry. I'm tired of that. I want to smile. I want happy wrinkles when I grow into my old age. Let's see here. Semyaza says, JayDreamerZ, we, your Good Vibe Tribe family, will get you through these hard times. Faith, brother. Much love. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. Just thank you. Excuse me. Outcast says, JayDreamerZ, you have sacrificed and followed your calling in spite of yourself. All you have lost will be fulfilled 100-fold after this. Love your son and show him the truth. He will be a force. Ooh, I couldn't agree with you more on that one. He's going to be a force. He's already a little force. I love it. Man, he's amazing. Just do it. Beautiful Awakening. Hey, Beautiful Awakening's in the chat. Marcus Basilio says, JayDreamerZ, have you seen Norb's The Theory on the Epoch Changed? He incorporated the flat earth with changing ages from iron, bronze, silver, gold, etc. It's tough to grasp this stuff. If you're talking about like Norb's theory, like where he's got like the various walls and stuff like that, yeah, I've seen that, and I absolutely believe that there's a lot of truth in it. For those who have the eyes to see, you're going to see a lot of truth in that. I like his model and everything. I would love to chat with him and, maybe incorporate some of my own experiences and studies and research and perspective into that whole model and stuff. But yeah, I love it. Dark Mira, I like that comment, says we are all sliders. Outcast says, has anyone watched Dark season 1 and 2? No, I have not watched Dark yet. I heard it's kind of like Stranger Things. Oh, you know what? We'll probably hang out. I think I'm going to hang out with you guys. It's 10:30 right now where I am. I'm going to hang out a little bit longer until about 10:40. And then I'm going to wrap things up so that I can go just blast music and end my day by kicking back. So, Marcus Pasillo, nope. Zologa G says, JayDreamerZ, I feel like Rupert Spira and his message of non-duality teaching is very similar to Good Vibe Tribe. Rupert has many videos on YouTube and also organizes events. Cool. Hey, let me ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think that I should make another tier so that I can chat with people on the phone? Like, I don't know, once a week or something, like on the weekends or something like that. I used to do that for Patreon. I used to have a little Patreon tier, but like I had like 25 different people on the list, and it did take up a lot of time. So I don't know. But I would be totally more than willing to talk to somebody one-on-one on the phone in person, explaining things or going over any questions that you may have, especially those of you who want to know more about like preparation and things that you can do and learn about what I'm doing to ensure my family's survival. But let me know if you think that's a good idea. I don't want to just make new tiers just for the sake of doing it. I want to offer something that people may see of as valuable, something of value, right? I'm also writing my book, which is sort of just turning into a plasma apocalypse book, basically, because that's what it all revolves around. It's probably going to be like a series, though, honestly, because it's going to get too big. Corey says it's 2 a.m. there. Wow. Cloven E says, JayDreamerZ, current news says Betelgeuse could explode, a supernova. Okay, well, yeah, it could. That's probably, to me, I resonate that that's just the universe saying, hey, something in the sky is going to explode, okay? The sky itself is going to explode and rip open. And man, is it going to be a fantastic time, a fantastic voyage. Outcast says, JayDreamerZ, watch Dark. It's way better and different than Stranger Things. Season 1 is slow, but great. Season 2 is amazing. You'll really like it. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll possibly give it a shot one of these nights. Rue I Am Groot says yes, and maybe have vids with guests and another drone vid. Yes. About the drone, I lost the battery. I'm totally just being honest. I have no idea where the battery to the drone went. I've been looking for it for months, and I cannot find it. So when I find the battery, I will do more drone bids. But for right now, it's gone. I have no idea where my battery went. But yeah, having guests on. You mean like having guests like video chat? Like I can make I don't know, who would I have a guest? Like who would be a guest? I mean, I could do Skype, but I think when you do video, it messes up like the quality or something. $1 a minute. Okay. I don't want to be greedy. You know what I mean? Like, but I need to support myself. So honestly, I'm probably going to have to get a job, like a full-time job, which means that this is going to become part-time in the future. I'll still be doing it like as much as I can. I'm just not going to be able to put any extra into it. Like you may have noticed, I didn't have some cool intro for the Plasma Apocalypse Christmas special. I wanted to, I desperately did, but I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to do it. And I was really worried about my bills and stuff. And I'm over here in my personal life running around, like pacing around my house, trying to figure out where I'm going to go after Christmas, you know? But that's kind of personal. I don't know. There's a fine line, you know, when it comes to being somebody that people know in the public. So, all the donations are appreciated. I have to do what I have to do as a grown man or a grown person or a growing person, to support my family. And that doesn't mean that I have to cross my fingers and hope I get donations on YouTube. It means I probably am going to have to go out and get a job because my book isn't done yet. Hopefully I can make a lot of money whenever I'm done with my book and get that published, which I'm going to be ramping up in the next couple of months. Anyway, sorry. JayDreamerZ, personally, I would not be interested as I'm not great at articulating my thoughts and ideas, and I would quickly crash and burn on the phone. Oh, okay. That's no problem. Thanks for letting me know. Outcast says, just add a consulting tier. For real. Hey, I like that. I do like that because you can consult with me. Dr. Knight says, JayDreamerZ, it may have been brought up before, but there has been a lot of shows and movies, etc., where there are cats involved. Could it relate to the plasma event? Yes, it does. Cats are a mystery to me right now. I'm just going to be honest. I know there's something going on with cats and all the cat symbolism I've seen in the media, but I can't quite put my finger on it yet, honestly. And there's the whole Cats play that's being remade into a movie, right? So maybe, you know what? I'm going to make a note right now. I'm going to tell myself to study cats and cat symbolism. Hold on. Let's see here. To do. Where's my to-do notes? Well, I just put it right here. Oh, this is it right here. Study cats and cat symbolism. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Who was that reminded me of that? Eyes to See says happy Saturnalia. Happy Saturnalia to you too. Oh man, where was I? Was that DK? Ah, I'm getting lost in the chat. Don't get a haircut. Wait, how far back was I in the chat? Jesus. All right, hold on. Let's see here. It's 2 a.m. Okay, I read that one. Consulting. I read that one. Oh, cats. It was DK Knight. Thank you, DK. Mother Dragon says, JayDreamerZ, I have a feeling if we were to speak one-on-one, it would be less question asking and just more regular conversation about random things. Nah, I totally agree. Like, some of you guys I would pretty much just be friends with. You know what I mean? And some of you guys I would pretty much consult and like be here for you and help you out as much as I can. You know, because I vibe with some people more than others or whatever. I do have some people that used to be my patrons on Patreon, and I call them all the time. Well, you know, sometimes. They call me a lot, and we talk sometimes. Let's see, where was I? Man, I'm missing some comments. I'm sorry. Oh, Forest Lily says thank you to everybody. You're very much welcome. Rue says, the Hopi knew the cycles of the plasma apocalypse were true. I totally agree. Mr. Dynamic says recently they named the bad guys in the movies Nova. I don't know about the movie Nova yet. Corey L says JayDreamerZ, but don't get a haircut. Well, I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm not. Why would I get a haircut? Did I? I'm sorry. I must have missed something. Is it because I'm grieving right now? I have thought of it actually. You know, when people grieve, they want to cut their hair, so I have been tempted. I'm going to be honest. Benjamin Crossland says, JayDreamerZ, how do you feel about the lights in the sky giving information or downloads as the sun, moon, and stars? There is information transfer between all things. Light is one of the mediums for that. Marcus Basilio says, check out Fiverr.com. Maybe you can outsource your services. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Beautiful Awakening says, JayDreamerZ, ha ha ha, cats are a mystery to all of us, right? Well, one thing I do know about cats is that they can see into realms that we cannot. They can see on a different vibratory level. So, you know, basically they can see spirits. So they're going to love this. Oh, speaking of cats, also Pet Sematary, that movie is true. That movie is basically about the plasma apocalypse, bringing the dead animals to life as well as dead people. Let's see here. So yeah, the zombie apocalypse isn't just going to be human zombies, okay? But animal ones too. Zaloga G says, JayDreamerZ, maybe we could organize Skype talks to share our research about the plasma event. Yes, we probably could. Outcast says, JayDreamerZ, what do all of the ancient Sumerian, Egyptian, etc. texts say about cats, or what is the symbolism of the cat deity god signify? Hey, that's something I'm going to look into. I'm wondering a lot about cats myself. Excuse me. You know what I might do? If I can afford it, I might buy a puppy. Maybe I should do like a fundraiser. Like, help me get a puppy. Like, that would be awesome. I think that's what this house needs now. It needs more life, and I need a puppy. I don't know. I feel like I'm being kind of a little too cheesy at this point in time. Hey, DK Knight just made a donation and sent me a holiday gift of $20 and says, not much, but thank you. Hey, DK Knight, that's a lot of money. Okay. So that is a lot here at my house. When you're on food stamps and you can't afford a bunch of stuff, $20 goes to some important stuff. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. DK Knight says, not much, but thank you. Happy holidays and good vibes. And you're welcome. Aw. Merry Christmas, DK Knight. Merry Christmas. But hey, before we wrap things up, I'm not getting a ferret. Warrior of love. Okay? No. I think ferrets are cool, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure they smell really bad. I think that's why I don't want to get a ferret. Plus, it's really long and it's kind of weird, and I'm not a snake person. I'm just going to throw that out there, okay? Somebody threw a snake on me one time when I was in elementary school, and I've not liked snakes that much since then, and a ferret is kind of snake-like. It's like a mammal snake. Hey, Plasma Dolphin says, use this for your puppy, and made a donation, sent a gift, a Christmas gift of $5. Thank you very much, Plasma Dolphin. I would love to get a puppy. Honestly, I just want it to crawl all over my face and just lick me all over my face and just weigh me down, and you know what I mean? Like, I would love that. I need a puppy, man. Or a stuffed animal or something. But yeah, a puppy would probably be awesome. Where was I? Beautiful Awakening says, Golden Retriever. I used to have a black lab. Its name was DOG. Believe it or not. Let's see here. Benjamin Crossland says, I'll fund your puppy as long as no haircut. Dude, if you give me a puppy, I will not cut my hair ever again. Like, that'd be awesome. Man. I gotta start somewhere, right? Semyaza says, JayDreamerZ, how about a black shepherd puppy? Ooh, yeah, that would be awesome. It's got to be a small one, though. I got to get something like a house dog because I don't have a backyard. Like, I live in like a fourplex, basically. Outcast says, wait till you can afford a puppy, man. I get it. Go get a turtle or some fish and plants. No, I'm a mammal lover. I need mammals, okay? I need to have mammals, okay? I can't do fish and I can't hold a fish. You can't let it lick you in the face and, pet it and stuff. Nah, I can't do that. I like fish. Don't get me wrong. They're very artistic looking. They make for good, like they're people too, but, I like puppies. Anyway, Mr. Dynamic. Did I get everybody? Oh, Rue I Am Groot says, my son got a puppy. It made him feel better. He's not with his daughter's mom. Oh man. Rue. I'm sending my heart's right there, man. So I'm glad that he got a puppy. I super am. Let's see. Mr. Dynamic says, JayDreamerZ, have you studied Organite? Yes, I have. I know a Chia master. I'm a Chia student. What do you think about these in relation to plasma energy? Also, the Vril energy was said to extend life and bring life. Well, Vril is plasma, basically. I mean, that's how I see it. Like, that's basically what that is. That's the source of life, which is Vril, Chi, plasma, spirit, etc. Oh, let's see here. Caucasian shepherd. Oh, no. Stop. Beautiful Awakening says, JayDreamerZ, I'm sorry I've been away for a few months. Have you spoken about Frozen 2? Yes, I have. Frozen 2 does have all the plasma apocalypse stuff in it. It's actually more about the center of the world. It's about the North Pole. You're going to see a lot of stuff start to come up around the North Pole. Like, for example, Fortnite. There's this video game called Fortnite. They have a new map. And the map in the middle has the whole North Pole setup. These are itching my ears now. Anyway. Okay, so I think it's a good time to wrap things up. Yeah, it's a good time to say Merry Christmas and let you guys all go enjoy the rest of your night. I'm glad that I have all of you to chat with and to hang out on this Christmas. And remember, if you're out there and you're by yourself right now on Christmas, you're really not, okay? You're just not in closer proximity to others than you'd like to be. But people like me are right there with you. And you have loved ones out there that have a connection to you. And their little piece of you is in their heart and you're in theirs. If anything, You're in mind. Okay? My mind. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye. Merry Christmas!